We are increasing our efficiency and reducing processing times at the border. We launched the CBP One app, which in its first 4 months helped 83,000 individuals schedule an appointment at a port of entry, and we are taking steps to expand available appointments. We bolster the capacity of local governments and NGOs. Just last week, we announced the distribution of an additional $332 million to support communities along the southern border and in the interior of our country. We are leading an unprecedented law enforcement disruption campaign that has led to the arrest of nearly 10,000 smugglers who profit from vulnerable immigrants. Knowing that this is a regional challenge that requires a regional solution, we continue to work with countries throughout the Americas to deter irregular migration. This includes a coordinated campaign with Colombia and Panama to prevent individuals from following ruthless smugglers into the very dangerous Darien. And we are working with our partners in Mexico regularly on a range of issues. We are a nation of immigrants. We are also a nation of laws. Our immigration laws today are outdated. The solution we are implementing are the best available within our current legal authority, but they are short-term solutions to a decades-old problem. The kind of migration we continue to see today requires more resources we have requested and have not received, clearer authority, and modernized processes that only Congress can deliver. We urge it to do so. Now, I think we'll take some questions.
Thank you. Questions? Nick, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. We've just seen some images from Texas showing Texas National Guard and DPS physically blocking migrants from climbing up the riverbanks and accessing U.S. soil. Does the department believe that that's a legal enforcement posture by the state of Texas?
Nick, I'm going to leave it to our Department of Justice to speak to the lawfulness or lack thereof of those actions. I will tell you this, that our Border Patrol agents and our officers work very closely with the Department of Public Safety in Texas on the ground when it is a coordinated and collaborative effort. It is essential that law enforcement work as one team to address the challenge of the southern border.
And go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. How many credible fear screening interviews do you expect to conduct on a daily basis? And are you confident that we'll keep up with the number of apprehensions you all are seeing and expect to see?
So we are, the Department of Homeland Security, with one of our agencies, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, is indeed surging asylum officers to Border Patrol facilities, as well as to Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention facilities, to conduct an unprecedented number of credible fear screenings under the asylum rule that is going to be implemented beginning upon the end of Title 42. We are surging approximately 1,000 or more asylum officers for that purpose. It is very important to note that the asylum rule will take effect if individuals do not access their lawful pathways, the pathways that we have made available to them. They will face a rebuttable presumption, but a presumption of ineligibility for asylum. They will have to meet a higher bar. This president, our president, has led the expansion of lawful pathways more than anyone else in our history.
Heather?
Yes, Secretary, we have
to be worse than where we are now. A lot of that falls on the shoulders of the circuit attorney's office because there is a cascading effect. You look at a person, a single person in the city who has more opportunity to affect crime, and it would be the circuit attorney and her office because the mayor can only do so much but the circuit attorney can do a lot. And knowing that that office has good relationship with the police, has good relationship with the community, that's what helps the justice system move forward. So when it comes to the cops, first of all, we're down 130 cops in the city of St. Louis. That makes it difficult for the police force to be efficient
And
as well.
I agree with you on that, but that's not a Missouri thing. The state doesn't have to step in to rectify that. We have a new police chief who's barely been on the job for 3 months?
Mhm.
Maybe we should allow him to do that job and see what happens from there and give him better support. I don't, unless we are positive that we are going to see some real results, real positive results, I don't like the idea of taking the power away from the people in the city.
Does the state being in control of the police force, will that affect the number of police officers?
Well, that can be taken care of without it. I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know if the question is part of the reason why we are short so many officers is because those in control right now are not giving the police force the support they need to fill those positions. Oh, again, the circuit attorney with her mysterious list, who knows how many dozens of police officers who any evidence they were to bring regarding any potential cases would be immediately dismissed by her. That cascading effect, would a state takeover help improve the numbers of police officers in the city because the state would be more active than those in charge right now?
I don't know the answer to that, but I look to our history as a city. Before we went to local control of the police department, it wasn't particularly good here either. Our murder rate was still the highest in the country. I don't know. I don't like the idea of taking away power from a city if it's not going to give us real, and I'm talking like real results.
Mhm.
People have been talking about St. Louis for 20 years like it's a hellhole.
Yeah.
It's not like it just happened in the last few years. It's been that way my entire life. When I went away to college, I was just halfway up the state in
Mhm.
Illinois, and surrounded by people from all over the state, really not a whole lot of Southern Illinois people, but Central Illinois, Northern Illinois. And when I would say, yeah, I'm from St. Louis, they'd all go, ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was in the 90s.
I
This was the
don't-
late 90s. It wasn't like this just happened. I think we need to get real about our solutions to our problems and realize what is and isn't going to work. I don't know if a state takeover makes us a safe city.
And I mean, that's where I am. I don't know either. I don't know what the right thing is. I've heard arguments on both sides that I agree with, how the state takeover could make the entire police department a bit more efficient, or at least give it a fighting chance, because it can't possibly be worse. Crime can't, be worse in St. Louis than it is now. I've also heard the other side, and believe it or not, from specifically one friend, very conservative, like tried and true, years long, very conservative. And she has said, I just think it's a dangerous precedent to have the state look at a local government, a local issue, and say, you're not doing it good enough. We're going to take it from you.
No,
and so on principle,
agree
she
with that.
disagrees with that because she's for small local government.
Yeah, I don't think you can argue you are for small local government if you're trying to take over the police department of a city that you don't live in. Amy Marks, Core's Chris Ranji here on KMOX. We'll talk about what's happening with Title 42 and the expiration that is happening tomorrow as it pertains to immigration with Kate Lincoln Goldfinch. She'll be joining us next on KMOX.
You can't blame one person, you can't blame one group, you can't blame one generation. But it sucks that St. Louis has become marginalized and a laughingstock and feared. Like, we're really cool. We have so many things that are just amazing. We have a great heritage here. We have a great history, not just sports. I'm proud to be on KMOX, proud to be from St. Louis. We can move forward and move up. We just all have to remember who we are. And who we are is pretty damn cool.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
We all know how important nutrition is to our health, so why don't we do something about it? With Neovitin Men's 50 Plus, you can give your body sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your daily health. Formulated for men over 50, Neovitin Men's 50 Plus gives you B vitamins to support energy and our proprietary physician-formulated blend for daily support you won't find anywhere else. Do something about your health today with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus. Available at your local Schnucks and Deerbergs.
Gas Appliance Service has just made getting your new gas, charcoal, or pellet grill easier than ever. Gas Appliance Service by Westport and Fireplace and Grill Center in Manchester not only offers an amazing selection of top name brands, they offer you professional installation and stand by their product warranties. Those big box stores don't even compare. Stop by or shop online at gasapplianceservice.net. Just click for your estimate and get grilling at gasapplianceservice.net.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
If your home or business just isn't giving you the joy it once did, it's time for a refresh. Contact your local CertaPro painters and put the power of pro to work for you. That's CertaPro's power of doing the job right, on time and on budget. The power of proven experts with the skills to refresh, rejuvenate, and reinvigorate your home or business. Get your project started today at CertaPro.com. The power of pro.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies and 71 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. New York Republican George Santos now in federal custody and facing an extensive list of federal charges. The 13-count indictment says the freshman congressman induced supporters to donate to a company under the false pretense the money would be used to support his campaign. Federal prosecutors say the indictment seeks to hold Santos accountable for various alleged fraudulent schemes and brazen misrepresentations. The pace of inflation slowed slightly last month. The consumer price index was up 4.9% from this time last year, but has fallen for 10 straight months. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says the cost of buying an automobile now depends on your tastes.
You may want to stick to a used car after all. Used car prices down 6.6% from a year ago. A new car, 5.5% higher than a year ago. Energy prices were down 5.1% from a year ago, led lower by gas.
She says there was an uptick in housing costs while food prices held steady. Former St. Louis Circuit Attorney Jennifer Joy says the person Governor Parson appoints to take over the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's office should not be chosen because they can win election to the office.
The person who sets this office aright again needs to be focused on that and not politics and not making decisions that are politically palatable to people. They need to really be focused on righting the ship.
Joyce, who served as circuit attorney for 16 years, says the first phase of righting the ship is putting out the fires. And taking a look at the commute at this hour, things have calmed down considerably from this morning. There is a one-vehicle crash 70 westbound past Route A that was just cleared 4 minutes ago, but there could be a residual backup there. There's road work 141 South Pass Crossing Drive. The right lane is closed in that location, and road work 67 South Pass Dorset Road. The right lane closed there as well. The KMOX forecast sponsored by the Flat Roof Company, quality workmanship at a competitive price. Partly sunny, warm this afternoon, the high 84. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight, the low 64. For tomorrow, becoming breezy and humid. A thunderstorm or two is possible, especially Thursday afternoon, the high 80. Right now it's sunny and 71 degrees downtown at the Arch. The Flat Roof Company, if you have leaks in your commercial or industrial flat roof, there's only one company to call, the Flat Roof Company, because they have a great reputation and provide excellent service at great prices. Call the Flat Roof Company at 314-995-2700. Flat roofs are all they do. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
I'm JR of CBS Sports Radio, and I want to introduce you to a new podcast titled Agents of Inclusion, brought to you by Special Olympics, Odyssey, and JR Sport Brief Productions. Every Wednesday, we'll be speaking with a different Special Olympics athlete to share their stories of perseverance, accomplishment, and path towards inclusion. We don't want you to just listen. We want you to become an active agent of inclusion as well. Special Olympics, Agents of Inclusion, find it on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
We trust companies to do what's right, but when they don't, there's Under Law, making a difference, one case at a time.
Call Law Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618 $9
Broadcasting from the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Manor Grove has been caring for seniors for over a century. Everyone at Manor Grove is treated like family, and that's exactly how our residents should feel, like family. Our staff strives to make Manor Grove feel like home. Be assured, your loved one will be well taken care of at Manor Grove. The entire Manor Grove team views everyone inside as family and looks forward to seeing residents and coworkers every day. See for yourself at manorgrove.com and take our virtual tour. Welcome home to Manor Grove.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
This is Tom Ackerman. McKelvey Homes is proud to announce they sold 30 homes in the first quarter and will donate $1,898, $1,898, the year they were founded 125 years ago, per home to Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. They call it Homes for Health. That's a total of $56,940. You can learn more about McKelvey Homes and all of their single-family, multifamily residences and more at McKelveyHomes.com.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sunday mornings at 10:15 on Sports on a Sunday morning and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show on Cardinals Radio, KMOX.
Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji on KMOX. Good morning to you. Title 42 expires tomorrow. Just a few minutes ago, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas delivering in a press conference the edict to people, don't come here. He basically was telling immigrants not to cross the border after the expiration of Title 42. And to talk more about what's going to happen when this does expire tomorrow is Kate Lincoln Goldfinch, who is the owner and CEO of Lincoln Goldfinch Law. And Kate joins us this morning on KMOX. We appreciate you being with us, Kate. How are you?
Hi, I'm good this morning. Thanks for having me on.
So I don't know if you got an opportunity to hear the Department of Homeland Security Secretary and his comments about tomorrow. If you did, or if you heard the message that he's delivering, telling people not to risk their lives, which is what he said, to try and cross the border and come to the United States. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, this is a natural consequence of what we've had over the last 3 years, which is a closure of the border to asylum seekers because of Title 42 under the public health emergency of COVID that is lifting tomorrow. So the impact of that is that for 3 years, people who normally would have been able to come to the border and be screened for asylum, like people from Venezuela or Cuba or Honduras who are fleeing, violence in their countries, have been, many of them just stuck in Mexico. Some of them living in, makeshift refugee camps, just waiting for the opportunity to be able to apply for asylum. So the reality on the ground is that we have a backlog of asylum seekers that now our country will need to deal with. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that the government is sending the message telling people to not come. But when you're talking about desperate migrants who have been waiting, many of them up to 3 years for their chance, a press conference is probably not going to do the job.
Yeah, I just feel like the U.S. government over multiple administrations, not just this one, the last one, the one before that, has failed in creating an immigration policy. And the result of that is a humanitarian crisis. We focus on one city alone. Let's focus on El Paso, Texas, that could see tomorrow, with the lifting of Title 42, upwards of 15,000 migrants a day. How in the world does any infrastructure, any city absorb that number of people?
Sure. And, I would put this back on the federal government. The responsibility for this, it shouldn't fall to the city of El Paso to manage this, right? The reality is most asylum seekers, and I say this, I've been an immigration lawyer in Texas for 15 years. I've worked with thousands of asylum seekers. Almost all of them have somewhere they're intending to go. They have family or relatives in the United States, and they're planning to get to California or New York or somewhere to go and prepare for their asylum hearings. And so their stay, along the border is temporary, and they need shelter, food, just sort of to get on their way. My expectation would have been that the Biden administration would have planned ahead for the needs, just the basic human needs of the population, as opposed to sending down like law enforcement. What they need is food, water, shelter, processing, and then they go on their way. We'll see, how this is handled. I don't have high expectations that it will be managed well, just based on how things have gone in the past. And then there's this whole, next step where the Biden administration is attempting to limit asylum, and that's going to be challenged in court. And does it bolster the Biden administration's position in court to restrict asylum if things go badly this week? It's such a mess. But I really tie this all back, not to our presidential failures to manage this stuff, but to Congress's failure to act on immigration reform for the last 4 decades.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I'm not an expert in this subject. You, as an immigration attorney, would know way more about it than I would. But it seems to me that because the immigration system is broken, that people, instead of because you always hear the average person say, go through the proper channels, you go through it, you do it the right way and become a citizen, or, you make it to the United States, and that's okay. But it's when you're crossing the border illegally, that's when I have a problem with you. Does it not make it more likely that people will seek more illegal ways to cross the border if there isn't a good system for them to filter in? And that's why there's more chaos? Or is that the wrong way to look at it?
Oh, that's definitely a factor. The reality is that what these migrants go through, these people down here who have been living in these tent camps along the border, they're lining up at the checkpoints to try and get in. They're living as just in horrible conditions. And most people would not put themselves through that unless something, truly dangerous were chasing them into this situation. Also, there is a reality that this country has a need for immigrant labor that is it's looming, and it's getting larger as our baby boomer population is aging. And, for the first time next year, we're having more people in this country who are over the age of 65 than under the age of 15, for the first time ever in the United States. We have a problem in this country of an aging population. And the solution to that is immigration reform. We have all of these jobs that we need immigrants to do. So there is an aspect of, if Congress could pass immigration reform that reflected the needs of our economy, that gave, workers, not asylum seekers, but immigrants who want to come and work, a way to do that, of course it would calm the chaos at the border. And we are always going to have people from around the globe who are fleeing persecution somewhere, from Russia, from Venezuela, from somewhere in Africa. It's always going to be happening. So we also need to maintain the system that we've had in place for decades, where we have a mechanism for screening asylum seekers, and we can provide protection to the people who qualify.
There have been many migrants who have crossed the border illegally. Some have been apprehended. Some have faced expulsion. Some have been able to, for whatever reason, stay. There are also many immigrants who have gone through the process legally. How do you balance wanting to help those who are fleeing their countries, fleeing tough circumstances to get to the United States, granting them some clemency, while there are others who are going through a very long and tedious process who might feel like, wait a minute, I'm going the long, difficult way to stay in this country?
Yeah, I think that sort of relates to this idea that people espouse, which is like this idea of getting in line. And I think that just reflects sort of a lack of knowledge of the system. Because asylum requires that someone be at the border to apply or in the country. That's a requisite, rule of asylum. And the actual statute says it doesn't matter how they got here, but they have to be here to apply for asylum. So when we do something like Title 42 and we say nobody can apply for asylum, they cannot go to the bridge and ask for help. We don't care what they're fleeing, what has happened to them. If it's someone who, female genital mutilation, very obvious asylum qualifying case, even people like that are turned away because they're just not processing asylum seekers. So that leaves people with the only choice, if they're truly in this desperate, dangerous situation, to attempt to cross, at which point they may be processed for asylum. So the laws, the policies that we put in place encourage this behavior for desperate people who are running from something. So that's why Title 42 is bad and shouldn't have been in place for 3 years, and why we need to all push our leadership to process asylum seekers, to provide a way for asylum seekers to just present at the border and say, hey, I'm afraid of returning to my country. Will you screen me? Because if we can do that, then people won't go through these, desperate, dangerous measures to get in this country.
Yesterday, the outgoing mayor of Chicago held a press conference and was talking about the immigrants that have been bused up to Chicago from, I believe it was Florida and maybe some from Texas as well. And a lot of those immigrants are sleeping in police stations around the city. There isn't enough capacity in that northern city. And I can understand on some level being at the border, the southern border, and feeling overwhelmed by the influx of people. But I wonder how much these stunts of busing these immigrants all the way up to northern states really helps the situation. There's got to be a balance in there in the middle somewhere, isn't there?
Oh, yes. I think all of these political stunts, the main thing that these are achieving is attention and votes for people like Greg Abbott and DeSantis. That's what they're doing with stunts like that. But in terms of our cities in this moment, like El Paso, being overwhelmed by migrants, yeah, maybe. But the thing to keep in mind is that we are dealing with a backlog of 3 years of asylum applicants because we closed down the border. The culprit of this is not the migrants. It's not, any particular politician. It's this policy that's been in place for 3 years that has to go away. It doesn't make any sense to keep it in place. And so we have to just, have a reckoning with this backlog of people, and then we'll settle back into a routine. This is not an emergency that's going to go on forever. And I think people need to not panic when they see pictures of, groups of migrants, or they hear even, conservative politicians talking about this, because this is a temporary situation. And also, this is the United States of America, and we can navigate this. We can figure this out. And we have a need for immigrants, bottom line.
Kate Lincoln Goldfinch is an immigration attorney out of Texas, owner and CEO of Lincoln Goldfinch Law. We appreciate your time. Thank you for visiting with us today, Kate.
Anytime. Thanks for having me on.
When we come back here on the show, we'll see what you missed, because there's some stuff out there you probably didn't see that you need to see. And if you didn't see it, Amy will tell you about it. Right, Amy?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that to me. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. You have a real attitude today on KMOX.
Diamonds Direct invites you to join us as we celebrate all the moms in our lives. This Mother's Day, we're giving Mom more to say thank you for all she does. With every fashion jewelry purchase of $2,500 or more, we'll give Mom a free customizable diamond initial pendant valued at nearly $800. We've put together an exceptional collection of meaningful gifts for any budget. The perfect heirloom pieces to pass down to the next generation of moms. Birthstone rings, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. This year, she deserves a gift that keeps giving, and at Diamonds Direct, that's our specialty. Timeless gifts of jewelry she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come. Now's a great time to upgrade her diamond studs or pendant with Diamonds Direct's unmatched 110% upgrade. Come let the experts at Diamonds Direct help you find that remarkable gift that says, cheers, Mom, for all you do and for who you are. Diamonds Direct. Get locations and store hours at diamondsdirect.com.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Luke Combs.
I am somebody who has struggled with anxiety a lot. A couple ways or tools, I guess you would say, to maintain my mental health is making myself aware to the things that I know I'm prone to. Information is key for things like that, and knowing what you're dealing with and how they operate. Being aware of the way your mind works in certain situations has been the most important thing for me.
More at imlistening.org.
Sponsored by Compass Health Network. Inspire hope. Promote wellness.
When choosing a skilled nursing memory care community, choose Park Provence. Considered by U.S. News and World Reports as a best memory care community for nearly 20 years, they've been the experts at treating dementia and Alzheimer's disease. If you're faced with making a difficult decision for your loved one, talk to the leaders at memory care at Park Provence. Learn more by calling 314-542-5200 or visit parkprovence.com. That's PARC Provence.com.
I'm Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. As the state's chief legal officer, I will enforce the laws as written. I will hold accountable those who violate state and federal law by knowingly hiring unauthorized workers. By paying lower wages and avoiding taxes, businesses using unauthorized workers put honest ones at a competitive disadvantage. Report businesses that employ unauthorized workers at ago.mo.gov.
Brought to you by the Missouri Department of Labor and Industrial Relations.
Play ball!
Step up to the plate by donating your own car to Goodwill and get 4 box seats to a Cardinal game. Your car donation to Goodwill will help people right here in St. Louis. Donating is easy, towing is free, and you get a tax receipt. Plus, you'll get Cardinal tickets, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. Donate online at mersgoodwill.com. Must mention promo code Cardinals. Hurry while supplies last. Software engineer for Equifax Inc. in St. Louis, Missouri to support before they go live through activities such as system design consulting, developing software platforms and frameworks, capacity planning, and launch reviews. Requires a bachelor's degree in computer science, computer information systems, or related field. Willing to accept foreign education equivalent, plus 5 years of experience in software development, or, alternatively, a master's degree in computer science, computer information systems, or related field. Willing to accept foreign education equivalent and 3 years of experience in software development. Equifax Inc. is willing to accept a suitable combination of education, training, and or experience to satisfy the requirements. Please email resume to jobs.opportunities@equifax.com. Reference position number 11027. Again, that's jobs.opportunities@equifax.com. Reference position number 11027. Once again, jobs.opportunities@equifax.com. Reference position number 11027.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. When planning your summer vacation, pick a destination close to where you live to limit your use of fuel. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Hello Garage elevates your garage, adding additional entertainment space for graduation parties or other summer get-togethers you have planned. In as little as 48 hours, get organized and start planning that party. Visit them online at hellogarage.com.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Prepare an emergency kit, sign up for local alerts, and make a family communications plan. Get started today at ready.gov/plan. A public service message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
More Amy, more Chris. What is this weird show? The Show on KMOX.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? No way.
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy on the Show?
Well, thank goodness this has nothing to do with the Hilton downtown Nashville manager.
Somebody texted in about that.
Yeah.
Just a few moments ago.
Are
We
you
haven't
serious?
talked about the toe sucking incident.
Guys, this hotel manager, okay, this guy was staying at the Hilton Nashville downtown. He woke up to the hotel manager sucking on his toes.
You want to hear this? I'm going to read this text
Okay.
message
Okay.
to you. This is, you can text us 314-436-7900, but I don't condone texts
No.
like this. The tow guy, this is from a 636. The tow guy was just trying to get off on the right foot, doing some soul searching when feeling defeated to be less callous.
That's
Man.
not what we condone at all.
Look, and I this story has been over for 24 hours. Why are you bringing it back up?
Yeah. Come on, man. Now
Yeah,
you're
come
just,
on.
now that's just gratuitous.
Did we explain to people what happened
I did.
just now?
About the guy staying at the Hilton downtown
The
Nashville.
$400 a night hotel.
And he woke up and thought, what's that? What's that?
it's the
That's the
50
hotel manager
it's the-
sucking on your toes.
a 51-year-old hotel manager licking his feet.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, what do you have?
Did you hear about this? So a woman, tragically, her husband died. And so she wrote a book, a children's book on grief, on how to get over such a sad loss because she, had her own children. Turns out she killed him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She's the woman who wrote a book on grief after her husband's death is now charged with his murder. The mother of three told officers that I made my husband a drink with mixed vodka to celebrate that he sold a home. And then I went to put one of our children to sleep. And then I returned to my husband and he was unresponsive.
Whoa.
Totally innocent. As it turned out, he had 5 times the lethal dosage of fentanyl in his system.
And she did it?
Yeah, she's being charged with it.
Wow.
Because the officer's interactions with her that night and the account of an unnamed acquaintance who claims that they sold her the fentanyl come 2 months after she was on local television to promote her book.
Wow.
Yeah, so I would say
That's-
this. If your husband dies of fentanyl and you bought fentanyl 2 months before secretly, that's a problem.
That's way worse than the Million Little Pieces guy, isn't it? He just
Oh,
lied
yeah.
about himself.
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't lie about his dead relatives. Wow.
Yeah, that'd be like if I killed you and then wrote a book about how sad it was that you were gone.
How dare you?
What?
You're a real jerk.
I wouldn't because I love your mom.
Hey, did you see that the NFL today is schedule day, where all the NFL schedules around the country are released?
Okay.
There's one note here that I think is cool. The Chiefs, we're the home of the Chiefs.
We are.
Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to play in Germany. Week 9, they will play in Frankfurt against the Miami Dolphins.
We can take a direct flight.
Let's go to Germany.
From St. Louis to Frankfurt.
That's right. Another bit of news that came out yesterday, it was a report that it was supposed to be the Chiefs and Bears.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs have a home game, and they didn't want to give up the Bears home game. They want the Bears to come to Kansas City so they can have the Fields versus Mahomes and have the Bears fans travel. So
Nice.
Anyway, Chiefs and Dolphins in Frankfurt, week 9 of the NFL season coming up. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. Sarah Fensky will be in studio next on KMOX.
RENNER, forward and back. Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. Excited to share with you about Renner Garage Door. Spells the same thing, forward and backward. RENNER. Formerly the St. Louis Door Company, Renner's been selling, servicing, and installing garage doors in St. Louis since 1966. So if you need to repair or replace your garage door or opener, Renner does that. So call Renner or check out their special deals at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, the garage door company that does. Giddy up!
Ask yourself, what am I doing to guarantee I will have adequate, inflation-hedged income that I may never outlive? Why not make sure your future income is growing and may last as long as you do? Call for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233. And also join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio.
If you're thinking about selling your St. Louis area home, you might be a bit overwhelmed by the process, especially in this market. Take it from me, Debbie Monterey. I strongly recommend that you call and spend 5 minutes getting to know Gloria Liu with your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria understands that you have questions and that selling your home can be stressful. Gloria has mastered the home selling process with her Guaranteed Sold program. It simply states Gloria will sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or Gloria will buy it. So what's Gloria's secret? Gloria already has the buyers. Fact is, your home may already be sold. Let Gloria show you how she nets her sellers more money and how she sells faster on average. Need more proof? Check out Gloria's 5-star reviews and get moving. Call Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The Biz Dash is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. Join us this spring at City Park, the home of St. Louis City SC. With food, music, drinks, and more, the Biz Dash is the ultimate office party. Thursday, May 25th at City Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com. That's stlbizdash.com.
Spark St. Louis is the newest collaborative co-working office space located in the PwC Pennant Building at Ballpark Village. Spark supports local entrepreneurs and corporate professionals and features over 80 private offices, day pass options, monthly networking events, conference room, and special event amenities, while offering an innovative approach to city life where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within the neighborhood at Ballpark Village. Schedule your tour today by visiting Spark St. Louis online at spark-stl.com.
Awarded 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year by the Missouri Broadcasters Association, KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's cloudy and 71 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. Missouri lawmakers approved significant restrictions on transgender people this morning, sending the governor for his signature measures that would ban gender-affirming health care and prevent transgender girls and women from playing on female sports teams. Both measures would expire in 2027. St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones has already spoken with Missouri Governor Mike Parson about replacing the circuit attorney.
Mayor Jones says she has a great working relationship with Governor Parson, but right now she says it has to be determined what the circuit attorney's office needs.
We need a caretaker, someone who's going to assess what the office needs, try to put all of those pieces together, and hand off the office to whoever gets elected in 2024.
And Jones believes whomever takes over when Ken Gardner leaves should not be the same person who runs in 2024. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
CBS News special report. New York Republican Congressman George Santos indicted and arrested on federal charges that include wire fraud, money laundering, and lying to Congress.
The transfer of money from Company A that looks like, based on the indictment here, is alleged to be just a fraudulent company and goes into Santos's bank account so he can use it for personal expenses.
Legal analyst Jessica Levinson says Santos is accused of embezzling money from his own election campaign.
I think that it is possible that we could see a plea deal where we could see, obviously, he decides that he doesn't want to go to trial. The federal government, again, lots of documents just listed in the indictment. And he says, I will agree to less time in federal prison and I will plead guilty to X, Y, and Z.
Since taking office, Santos has rebuffed calls for his resignation over lying about his past. CBS News special report. I'm Steve Kathan.
The KMOX Business Desk. The pace of inflation slowed slightly last month. The Consumer Price Index up 4.9% from this time last year, but has fallen for 10 straight months. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says the cost of buying an automobile now depends on your tastes.
You may want to stick to a used car after all. Used car prices down 6.6% from a year ago. A new car 5.5% higher than a year ago. Energy prices were down 5.1% from a year ago, led lower by gas.
There was also an uptick in housing costs while food prices held steady. The Dow from Stifel is down 127 points to 33,434. Right now, we've got a one-vehicle crash that they have just cleared on 70 West at Route A. Some slow-moving road work on 141 going south past Crossing Drive. It's got the right lane closed.
It's a good-looking Wednesday afternoon, partly to mostly sunny skies. A touch on the breezy side, but it's not really a windy afternoon. 82 for the high. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, 70s this evening, 58 for the overnight low. Thursday, partly sunny. There will be a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms around on Thursday. No all-day rain, 85 for the high. Friday, periods of showers and thunderstorms, 85, and still a little bit unsettled with some scattered showers and thunderstorms around Saturday and again on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by the Flat Roof Company. Quality workmanship at a competitive price. If you have leaks in your commercial or industrial flat roof, there is only one company to call, the Flat Roof Company, because they have a great reputation and provide excellent service at great prices. Call the Flat Roof Company at 314-995-2700. Flat roofs are all they do. 72 in Florissant, 72 St. Peter's, 71 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
I'm calling Jerry Kelly for an AC tune-up.
It's barely springy outside.
That's why, Cub Scout. Before every Tom, Dick, and Barry gets ahead in line.
I see your point, Doctor, especially this year.
Let's call the Eagle Scout of ACs.
JerryKelly.com. The show, sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info at Cardinals.com.
Chris and Amy on KMOX.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Sarah Fensky and
Yeah, we
I
have a show-
are best friends
That's
now.
great. Can we
That's right.
like talk to the people who are listening?
No, we just
They
became
wanna
best
hear
friends.
from Sarah Fensky,
Yeah.
executive editor at Euclid Media Group, the Riverfront Times, in studio with us, and Larry Kester is with us as well. And the reason they're both in is because there is a Compton Heights house tour, which is happening this weekend, the 13th and 14th. And this has been going on for a while. It's a very cool local event. Let's start with you, Larry. You live there, and you were from Illinois, something like 30-something years ago. You
Quite
came
a
over
while
for a
ago,
tour,
yes.
and the next thing you know, you live here now.
That's right. The story is that my wife Sandy and I were engaged. We were looking for a place to combine our households, and we both worked on this side of the river. We lived in Illinois. So Sandy, wisely, decided to say, hey, let's not fight the bridge traffic anymore and look for a place in Missouri. And I thought, hey, that makes a lot of sense. And then she said, let's look for a place in this city. A lot of people are moving into the city and fixing up homes and stuff like that. And at that point, I thought, I think she's lost her mind. And so we went on a house tour. There happened to be a Tower Grove East house tour at the time. And we went from house to house. And I remember walking into one of the homes, and in the entryway, there was a lot of unpainted, ornate oak millwork. And I remember looking at that and saying, wow, if I had to live in the city of St. Louis, this is the kind of place I'd like to live in. And the hostess said, good, for this one's for sale. And that's the home we wound up buying. And we've been there since, actually, we were in that home on Shenandoah for about 12 years. And we've been in our current home on Hawthorne since 2003 and have just loved it. We wouldn't think about living any place other than the city of St. Louis.
I mean, I will say that Compton Heights neighborhood is so beautiful. I grew up further west in West County, and I remember distinctly remember the first time I saw Compton Heights. One of the marathons, I don't know which one of them ran through Compton Heights, and I was running, and then I looked around and I thought, oh my gosh, where am I? Where is this magical land? And it's right here in the city of St. Louis. The homes are so historic. So especially if you are out in the county further out and you haven't seen Compton Heights, you haven't seen St. Louis. It's such a gem.
Yeah, it's an amazing neighborhood. I remember the first time I almost kind of stumbled on it that way. It's just tucked behind South Grand. And so you can be driving along South Grand and you're thinking you know what's behind it. And then you just take this turn and it's like, whoa, the people who originally designed this place, they had a quote where they wanted to, quote, view nature as a neighbor and not as an enemy. And so they designed these streets so they sort of gently curve. And there's these beautiful old trees. And it just feels kind of like this oasis right in the middle of this very fast moving part of the city.
I feel like that's such a big that's so common in this city is that there are so many neighborhoods, and I grew up right across the river, but my family and I spent a lot of time in Missouri when I was a kid and then, when I was growing up. And then coming back to St. Louis after being gone for so long, I feel like I discover a new place every month. And I think, where did this come from? I had no idea that this looked like this. And there are just so many places like that here.
There are a lot of hidden treasures. There are also a lot of known treasures as well. And especially for people like me, to go back to my previous point about thinking my fiance might have lost her mind, it's those misperceptions about the city that may hold some people back from visiting or living here. And like I said, we wouldn't think of living anywhere else. We just love it.
It's really, I think that's important you say that, because we hear from people all the time, and usually downtown St. Louis gets tied into the city. Like for people who don't live here, anything that is the city, that means downtown to them. But it's not like that. And I think a lot of people have the perception every neighborhood you go to is super dangerous and you can't leave your house ever.
There is. We feel very secure in our neighborhood, very safe. We have a great neighborhood, but we also have great neighbors, and the people know each other. We've got a strong neighborhood association. We have very great collaboration with the St. Louis Police Department. There's usually a representative at one of our association meetings monthly. So, we feel very good about where we live, secure and safe. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people like Larry who moved there 3 decades ago have really helped neighborhoods like this stay strong. And you'll see that when you come to this tour. These houses are amazing. People have put so much work into keeping them strong. And then for younger families like mine, we don't have one of those mansions. Sadly, we're working towards that. Like Larry, we can eventually upgrade. But they've made this a neighborhood where I'm raising 2 young kids in the city, and my kids feel safe running across the street to grab their neighbors, to go play. They're running from yard to yard. It's the kind of thing I just wish I could get more county people to check out and see that there are city people having this great experience.
Well, tell us about the tour then.
Yeah, so the tour that is this weekend, it's both Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 5 p.m. And you can come inside 12 different houses. That includes Larry's house. This house is a showstopper. I mean, it's got all the original fixtures. It's decorated in this very historic style. And so there's a shuttle that'll take you between houses, or you can walk. It's a lovely neighborhood for walking. And you get to see how people are really living. I mean, Larry, you're letting people into kind of some of the nooks and crannies of your house there.
Well, yes, the whole home is open. But another point is with the homes in our neighborhood, as in other neighborhoods in St. Louis, we treat them not so much as the owners as we are caretakers, because our home was built in 1902. There have been a lot of previous tenants and owners of the home, but it's really kind of a work of art. It's a bygone era, and we think it's our place to really maintain that for future generations and future folks who will live there. I happen to bring along with me pictures of the original owners of the home.
Wow.
And these will be on display in our home, for people who are able to come to the tour. Hope they will. But it's that type of thing where there's a sense of neighborhood, there's a sense of history, there's a sense of art and belonging there. It's a great neighborhood. People will come by for the tour.
So people can, as you mentioned, there's a shuttle from home to home, or you can walk. You say it's 11 to 5. So like an open house. You can walk in at any time.
You do it at your own pace. And you don't have to visit all the houses. I will mention the Magic Chef Mansion is on this tour. It's one of the 12 houses. This is, I believe, the biggest single family home in the city of St. Louis, just a showstopper. If you only want to go and see that, great. If you only want to go and see Larry's house, you can do that. And you can get on and get off at your own timing. Just pace it however you want.
I think this is, perfect timing too with Mother's Day. If you're looking for that event, that family event, something that mom or grandma or the aunts or whoever will enjoy. This is absolutely perfect. I know I feel like I'm repeating myself, but the history of the homes, the detail of the architecture, the character. Will there be information available for each home? So you might learn a little bit about the original homeowners and when the home was built?
Yeah, the tickets to the home tour are actually a booklet which will give you a little brief history of each home as you go through. So yes, there will be that information. And your point about being Mother's Day, yes, it is perfect for that too, because there are a lot of great places to take mom to breakfast or lunch on South Grand. and then enjoy the tour after that.
So is there a place to check in once you get there? Do you want to direct people to a certain location?
Yeah, and we should mention these tickets are available on Eventbrite. It's $35 if you buy them now. If you show up the day of, you're going to have to pay $45. So you might want to get your ticket now on Eventbrite. If you look that up there, it has all the details. But yeah, there's basically 2 different starting points you can go to. And one is the Magic Chef Mansion, and the other is down on the Point. I'm sure for anybody who's come into Hawthorne and Longfellow, you kind of know where those 2 streets kind of come together very close to South Grand. And there you can get your booklet, get your tickets if you still haven't gotten them until the day of. I understand there might also be beer available. This is St. Louis. So
very nice.
Yeah.
Do we know if any of the homes are for sale? The way you, Larry, and your fiance were able to snag one on your tour.
There are some homes for sale now. The interesting thing about our neighborhood is that some homes are for sale and they are sold without them being listed. It's people want to live in the neighborhood. They know of its history. They know of its reputation. And so, yes, there are some for sale now. And I think people would be delighted to see what's available.
So to get tickets, the best thing to do really is just Google Compton Heights House Tour. It's the first thing that pops up, and you can get your tickets on Eventbrite there. The URL is a little too long.
Yeah.
So just Compton Heights House Tour 2023. Google it. It'll be the very first result. Sarah Fensky and Larry Kester are in studio with us. When we come back, let's talk some city-specific issues. Because a lot has been happening in the city of St. Louis. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
The check engine light is on in Washington, but politicians keep driving the cars if nothing is happening. There it is again. It's Social Security. A new government report says the Social Security Trust Fund is projected to run out by the year 2035. If that happens, it would cause all beneficiaries to take more than a 20% cut to their benefits. What does that mean for you? When should you start taking benefits? And how can you get every dollar of Social Security you're entitled to? The team at Heisey Advisory Group has been helping families optimize their Social Security benefits for over 17 years, and they can do the same for you. Give them a call, 314-328-4400 to schedule your visit with one of the advisors at Heisey Advisory Group. Again, that's 314-328-4400.
Investment advisory products and services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor, and Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor with the SEC. AEWM and Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC are not affiliated companies. Our firm is not affiliated with the U.S. government.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 314-720-8081.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
1 in 4 people surveyed by Bankrate.com say they're literally losing sleep because of worries that they may have not saved enough to retire. If you're ready to get serious about planning for your financial future, you could start by listening to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All of the All Financial Group.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
We're not here to sell you anything. If you want assistance, we can also help you at that point.
Tune in Saturday mornings at 10, right here on KMOX.
Call Midwestern Pest Control, your pest prevention expert since 1962, to keep your home safe from termites, ants, spiders, and other pests ready to invade your home. Call 314-838-1121. I called Midwestern Pest Control to get rid of ants in my kitchen. Now they come to keep them out. Call Midwestern Pest Control to protect your home or business now. 314-838-1121. 314-838-1121.
Carol Daniel for the Doctor's Doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Take a look around you, your wife, or the highway right in front of you. We use our eyes to take in the world around us, but if you have a disease of the eye like glaucoma or itchy eye, or like my husband, you suffer from dry eye, seeing the world around you is a little more difficult. Dry eye can impact your vision at night. It can cause burning of the eye. Call Ophthalmology Associates at 314-966-5000 to set up your appointment today. I was so glad to go see the Doctor's Doctors at Ophthalmology Associates at 12990 Manchester Road. What a friendly staff and a thorough exam by Dr. Greg Birdie. There's a reason they're called the Doctor's Doctors, because they've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer, experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. Ophthalmology Associates. Call 314-966-5000 or learn more online at youridoc.com.
KMOX, the 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year, recognized by the Missouri Broadcasters Association. KMOX, we were built for this.
Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX. We have Sarah Fensky in studio, along with Larry Kester, who is a Compton Heights resident in the city of St. Louis. And, you know, we wanted to talk to you about the circuit attorney mess, because it is it's almost resolved. She's going to be out. She has decided to quit her job, and June 1st she'll be done. Sarah, I know that you covered this city and have for a very long time. And we were just talking off the air about the problems the city has, and it does have some real problems.
Sure.
And that office is part of it, and it's going to take a long time to clean up.
Yeah, I mean, we actually had a story that we published this morning on riverfronttimes.com. And the headline, I think, was something like, "Chaos Still Continues at the St. Louis Circuit Courthouse." And they had, 5 trials that were supposed to start in the last 2 days. The prosecutors assigned to them are no longer there because there's been such a flood of exits in the last couple of weeks. There's nobody to handle these cases right now. And the judges are saying, okay, on one level, we have what we've been calling for, which is Kim Gardner has agreed to resign. But even though her resignation doesn't fix these problems, she's not even out of that office yet. She doesn't leave until June 1st. So somebody isn't even capable of coming in and saying, okay, I'm going to get morale up. Okay, I'm going to start hiring. We're still in that period of the hangover from what was going on. And again, this isn't something like with Steve Stenger, where you had one corrupt person and maybe a bureaucracy that moved pretty efficiently. They lost everybody. And so cleaning this up is going to take a long time, and it's terrifying.
We're talking like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
yeah, not only that, you mentioned she's still in the office.
She's still there.
And so
Yeah.
no one can come in and start cleaning up until June 1st. And it's not like she was getting a lot done before that. So now what do the next few weeks even look like? All I could tell you is there was a guy that I worked with at a store named Young William, and he gave his 2 weeks notice, and he clocked out.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
He clocked out right away, if you know what I mean. So how can she clock out more? I know this sounds, I'm not putting this on you. This is my opinion.
I'd
How can
clock out if I was getting $7.50 an hour.
Yeah, how can she clock out more than she's already clocked out? What's going to happen over the next 3 weeks? It's just a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, we're as city residents, I think there's a lot of us who are kind of worried about this. And,
Yeah.
the RFT had a scoop, I guess it was a week and a day ago now, where she's been taking some classes apparently at St. Louis University, pursuing some sort of advanced nursing degree. And she does not want to answer questions about what kind of time commitment is involved with this. What are the specifics of this program? We're asking, the Attorney General is asking. The fact she doesn't want to answer those questions makes me believe that this is some fairly significant time commitment. And so this is continuing. Even while this office desperately needs attention, it needs a super hands-on manager, and they need to go on a hiring spree.
Yeah, I don't know how you live with yourself if you are the circuit attorney and you see how you are failing the city on every level. It's
You have to be convinced that you're failing the city. And that's what we talked about last week. I think in her mind, she doesn't think that's what's happened.
But it blows my mind. You're taking nursing classes on top of everything else. It's incomprehensible
Well, never
to me.
stop learning, Amy.
I will say I have defended Kim Gardner on occasion because I genuinely believe that her heart was in the right place, even though I wasn't happy with everything I was hearing about the management of that office. Learning that she had somehow found time, even if it's just one class, even if it's just a couple hours a week, which I don't believe that it is, or I believe we would have been given those details. It really shook my faith in the good faith side of what I had attributed to her, because let's face it, no matter how smart you are, that is one of the hardest jobs in St. Louis, to keep that office running efficiently and effectively. We do have some crime to deal with in this town, and we need a full-time prosecutor to deal with it. So the hubris that she thought she could do both, I'm shaking my head.
I am not an attorney. If I were, I wouldn't be here. But I am not an attorney, but I imagine that being an attorney is one of those jobs where you have homework.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't
And
just,
if
your day doesn't end at 5 p.m.,
If
right?
you have homework, you can't have another job or you can't be taking classes and doing other homework when this is so important, vitally important. I don't really
And-
get that whole thing.
And even with the way she stepped down, and again, this is my opinion, I found her letter incredibly offensive, that she was the victim in the letter, that she was attacked. She was attacked over and over and over again. And I, again, say this. I would like her to read that letter, say those words to the families who have dead kids, to the young girl that lost her legs. Tell me that you're the victim in this situation.
Larry, let me ask you, as a city resident, what do you want to see happen here? What does this city need to thrive?
Well, specifically about the circuit attorney, my thoughts are a little bit different in that, in any, professional roles that I've had in my career, typically when there's turnover, you don't want to see just a person leave and then there be a gap of time where there's nothing. Usually there's some good to be had if there's overlap for whatever reason between the person who's leaving and the person who will come up.
A little
in.
continuity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You just to find the lay of the land, what's first on the docket, so to speak, and move on from there. So I think it's important that we get a strong individual to lead that office. To Sarah's point, staffing is incredibly important. Yes, there needs to be a hiring spree, but it needs to be a strong leader. I heard Mayor Jones in the last hour say that, the individual appointed by the governor needs to be a caretaker. I'm not sure I'd agree with that terminology, and I'm not exactly sure that she meant to say that word. I think this person has a unique opportunity to come in and not be a caretaker, to do some very, very difficult things, to make some very difficult decisions, and move on from there, because that individual, that position is going to be open for an election.
Yeah.
Correct? And so the person who comes in to fill this, immediately after Kim Gardner is likely not going to have that position into the future.
Right. To that point, there's a lot of difficulty there, I would think, to come in and you immediately have to campaign if your goal is to remain in that office. There's not a whole lot of time to come in and do the job and then not also have to worry about campaigning for your job.
Yeah, I do like what Larry's saying, though. Sometimes if you're there and okay, I have a year and a half, and yeah, I'd like to win re-election, but I don't know if I'm going to win re-election. I didn't really seek this out. The people of St. Louis needed me. This is a chance to sort of bring the change, the organizational change that it's clear at this point that office needs.
Yeah. And that there's someone there who represents the community.
Yeah.
I think that's very key. And whoever fills that position needs to get the community, understand the community, and represent the people.
Yeah, I was really happy to hear that Governor Parson was meeting with some of the city leadership and that he's not just coming in trying to foist somebody on us, that he did a little bit of listening yesterday. That made me feel really hopeful.
Yeah, we are hopeful too, and hope it has some real results that we can notice. That's the thing, right? You want results that people can feel like there are results.
There's so much, the city has so much to offer, and that's what we're protecting. That's what we need to protect, is just how great how historic, the strong ties of the community. That's something when you travel all over the world. There are sexier cities. There just are. There's LA, there's New York. We may not be the sexiest city, but our communities, our people are extraordinary.
Some of us are sexy.
Some of our
Not-
houses are sexy.
Some of the
Can Larry
houses
and I
are.
bring it back to the houses?
Yeah. Oh, Compton
Sorry
Heights
we did
House
that.
Tour is this
We're
weekend.
idiots. I'm sorry.
Google it. Compton Heights House Tour 2023. Google it. Get your tickets. It'll be very cool. Sarah Fensky,
Mhm.
Larry Kester, thank you for coming in. We
Thank you.
appreciate
So
it.
much.
We'll talk to Cardinals play-by-play voice John Rooney. He is next on KMOX.
The news of St. Louis.
I want to know what's going to directly affect me and my community.
Because the news keeps you informed about daily activities.
Local topics.
Anything political.
I like feel-good stories. Crime, sports news, traffic,
Weather. Every single one of them.
It's our hometown.
I am interested in knowing what's going on in my immediate neighborhood.
people working together, collaborating, doing things for your community.
Your stories.
I like to keep in touch with what's going on locally. Just stories that matter and are interesting. There's something new every day.
Only on St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
When it comes to finding the perfect grill, family-owned and operated Cotton's Ace Hardware has you covered. Get free delivery and free fuel on any grills over $300, and free assembly and haul away of your old grills with the purchase of a new one. With a selection from Weber to Traeger and your local retailer of the Big Green Egg, Cotton's Ace Hardware makes it easier than ever to replace your old grill. Let Cotton's Ace Hardware make your family barbecue more enjoyable with that one-of-a-kind grill you've been looking for. Find your nearest St. Louis area location at cottonsacehardware.com.
Your home or business is a reflection of you. Now, if you're looking to take it from middling to sizzling, you need the help of your local CertaPro painters and the power of Pro. That's CertaPro's power of listening to your needs and delivering a customized project plan, and the power of doing the job right, on time, and within your budget. Contact CertaPro painters today at CertaPro.com. The power of Pro.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
The king of ragtime celebrates his queen. This spring, immerse yourself in a forgotten jewel of American artistry with the opera Tremonisha. Opening May 20th at Opera Theater of St. Louis. Embark on a life-affirming journey of love and creativity in this rarely seen masterpiece by Scott Joplin, the famed composer and St. Louis resident who is best known for the Maple Leaf Rag and The Entertainer. As Joplin celebrates his wedding to his new bride, Freddie Alexander, he is inspired to write a masterpiece with Freddie as his muse. His heroine will be called Tremonisha, and she will lead her community into a bright, bountiful future of education, opportunity, and prosperity. Joplin's music merges African-American folk traditions with classical music, creating a unique masterpiece. Their result is a joyous and sublime testament to the power of love. Don't miss this rare opportunity to witness Scott Joplin's Tremonisha and be a part of the story. Tickets start at just $25. Learn more at experienceopera.org.
At 11:30, it's partly cloudy and 73 degrees downtown at the Arch. Congressman George Santos has been arrested on federal charges alleging he embezzled money from his campaign, lied to Congress about his income, and cheated his way into undeserved unemployment benefits. The indictment says the New York Republican induced supporters to donate to a company under the false pretense the money would be used for his campaign.
We need a caretaker.
St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones talking about what's happening in the Circuit Attorney's Office.
What we're focused on right now is really getting an assessment of what the office needs before deciding like who should go into that spot. I think we need to get a overall assessment.
Mayor Jones says she's already had conversations with Governor Parson. As we've reported, the CEO of LaunchCode is leaving after 2 months on the job. KMOX innovation analyst and Venture Cafe founder Travis Sheridan notes the organization has had a relatively low number of leaders over the past decade, CEOs Brendan Lind and Jeff Mazur.
The fact of the matter is Jeff was there for a long time. He had quite a successful tenure as CEO of LaunchCode, but it's also a difficult job.
We've got a one-vehicle crash on 70 going west before West Florissant. The left lane is closed. Also a two-vehicle accident on 70 going east at Shreve. That's got the right two lanes closed. Forecast is sponsored by the Flat Roof Company. Quality workmanship at a competitive price. Today's high 82. For tonight, the low 58. And for tomorrow, clouds in control with a high of 85. The Flat Roof Company, if you have leaks in your commercial or industrial flat roof, there is only one company to call, the Flat Roof Company, because they have a great reputation and provide excellent service at great prices. Call the Flat Roof Company at 314-995-2700. Flat roofs are all they do. 73 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Now, the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX, sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
Let's be honest, shopping for insurance is a pain in the you-know-what. I'm Zach Gibson, owner of Zachary Gibson Insurance Agency. Let my agency shop for you. As an independent insurance agent, I can shop numerous insurance companies to help design a plan at the best possible price to help you with your home, auto, life, health, and business insurance. Contact me at ZachGibsonInsurance.com. That's ZAC GibsonInsurance.com. You can also call 314-210-3649 and let me shop for you.
Park Provence, an assisted living and skilled nursing memory care community, understands the challenges when caring for a loved one with dementia or other forms of memory loss. You're not alone. Park Provence is a trusted expert in memory care and recently recognized as a best memory care community by U.S. News and World Reports. Call 314-452-5200 or to learn more, parkprovence.com. That's P-A-R-C Provence.com.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt.
Hi, I'm Miles Michaelis.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It's the Cards and Cubs tonight. Ameren Total Access 545. First pitch 640.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Now, the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX, sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
A swing and a long drive. Left center field. That's a gunner! A home run for Paulie Young, his third of the year, his second RBI tonight. 5-4 Cardinals in the ninth.
Paulie D, the Redbird. Illinois
Well,
State Redbird.
We know why he had such a great day.
We do. We do. And we're going to ask John Rooney, voice of the Cardinals, if it's because of us. We think it is. John joins us now from Chicago. Hello, John.
Well, hi, Chris, Amy. I thought you might let me in on it. It's because of you guys.
Yes.
Huh?
So, well, here's what happened.
Yep.
It's Mother's Day week. And we talked to Andrea DeYoung yesterday, the mother of Paul DeYoung. And we think because we talked to her, we gave him a little bit of juice and he did that. What do you think?
I'm all for it. It sounds as good as anything to me, other than hours and hours and weeks and months of hard work to get back to the big leagues. That kind of figured into it a little bit for Paulie D as well.
Well,
I mean, I guess.
nothing compares to
A
the
little
power
bit.
of mom, but maybe that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there, Amy.
So that was a big win. Now the Cardinals have won 3 straight. First time it's happened this year. You can only hope, John, that it's the start of something. They've got a pretty big hole to climb out of, though.
Well, they can't look at it that way, Chris. They just have today, and that's all they have to worry about. I think the way that everyone is playing each other this year in baseball, you don't get a pass on any team in interleague, that the standings are going to just go up and down and up and down, and 85 wins might win the Central Division in both leagues, for that matter, that they're really lamenting the Chicago White Sox start up here. But if they kind of hold their own and claw their way back, they might stand a chance as well. But you have to take care of today, and that involves Jordan Montgomery, who threw a 1-0 shutout at Wrigley Field here last year. Now he goes tonight, and he's up against Justin Steele, who's 5-0 as the best ERA in the National League. But the Cardinals have been pretty good against left-handed pitching. But I like the way the Cardinals are going about their business. I saw some good things right at the tail end of the losing streak. Yet the bullpen came back to bite them late in the streak mounted to 8 games. But once they broke that 8-game losing streak, it seemed to take a little bit of the edge off. And they played more like we expected from Cardinal baseball the next 2 games and winning 3 in a row.
John, how much do you believe in momentum, the idea of momentum for a team?
Oh, I think it's there. But I also, I was just thinking about this today, that with taking the edge off Sunday, and I really believe the meeting that Ollie had with Adam Wainwright and with Jack Flaherty and Wilson Contreras to address what they need to do to move Wilson forward to be successful with the Cardinals. And that seemed to be very positive as they, I guess, aired out a lot of things in that meeting and charted a course to help Wilson get back behind the plate. And I do think he'll be back there eventually. And Andrew Kisner is going to have to catch and be effective if he's a backup, because he's a very important part of this team. But I see these guys working together. I see some team building here. You know, businesses will have some outings and functions and all that to help build a team with the sales staff or with the staff of a private business. I think the same is true with a professional team, no matter the sport, that if you're not pulling in the same direction, then there's a problem. I see these guys pulling in the same direction. And I think it's almost like, all right, the funny stuff is over. Let's play and concentrate on performing and playing as best we can. And that could take this team forward and get them out of this hole.
Yeah, other than the current winning streak, John, you touched on the Contreras situation, and every fan that I heard from and people around the country, media, people who have been paying attention to the Cardinals were confused by that decision. And he has said all the right things. I mean, he said he's taking it all and going to try to improve. As you see this decision being made, what sort of benefit is there in what they have decided to do with him?
Well, the benefit is the guys really like him, Chris. If he's a bad guy and he's not fitting in, then that's a problem that is way beyond something they can fix. But he's not. He likes to learn. He loves to play. He's enthusiastic. And I think they need somebody in that clubhouse with that kind of edge. Like his base hit the other night at Wrigley Field, he holds up the right hand like, I hear the boos, bring them on. Come on, bring them on. I like that kind of edge and that attitude. And having Miles Michaelis say, you've been booed at Wrigley Field, now you're one of us. That's a big step forward right there, Chris, like you wouldn't believe. And I think he'll do what's necessary to really learn the pitching staff, to learn what they expect of him in calling a game and doing his job behind the plate, because he was a pretty good catcher to help the Cubs win it all a few years ago. And I think he'll be back there before too long as well.
Is it that different for the pitching staff? I mean, obviously no one can replace Yadier Molina, but they're all professionals. So how different is it then pitching to Contreras versus the guy that they're used to seeing?
Well, Yadier Molina could read hitters, and he knew exactly what he wanted called. And I think a lot of the pitchers just went along with all that. The pitchers have to be a help here for Contreras as well as he learns them. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take some actual in-game work, and it's going to take a lot of homework on the sideline to get it back into that. But Dusty Blake, the pitching coach, is going through that. Jamie Pogue is working with Wilson on the catching aspects of it. And Oliver Marmol is right there supplying some input and some feedback. So I think all of that together, it's going to get people on the same page. But Yadier Molina was there since 2004, and we just got used to that. Andrew Kisner had to work in more last year because Yadi was back in Puerto Rico nursing an injury before he came back to finish the season. So that time was valuable for Kisner, and that's really paying off for him. Here's a guy who hit 300 in the minors, and he's starting to contribute offensively now. But it is different going to a new team, a new way of doing things. It's not like just walking in, here I am, and let's go. There's a lot of work in the background, and his teammates like him. They want him to succeed. He wants to succeed. And to me, that's the best news that I've heard since we got started with the season.
Ollie Marmol last night after the game said that he, along with the pitching coach, noticed there was a bit of a dip in velocity by Jack Flaherty in his start last night. And Flaherty, after the game, didn't really want to talk about it. I think he was irritated that he was being asked. But you know how it is, John, when people on the outside see lower velocity, they wonder if something is wrong with the pitcher. Is there any reason to think there is?
Well, he was struggling. He was trying to find command, and that might have been part of it, trying to get the pitches in the strike zone or get them where they want to go. It picked up a little bit toward the end of his outing, but still that outing was a lot less than the Cardinals expected or Jack Flaherty expected. I'd like to see him get into the 6th and 7th inning, and when he's on, that's what you can expect from Jack Flaherty. We saw that very early in his career before his injuries. But I learned my first minor league job was in Oklahoma City in 1981. My manager there was Jim Snyder. He managed a little bit with the Cubs and worked in the minor leagues, I think with the Cubs and White Sox for a number of years. But he said, this game is, I'll use a different term because I can't say it on the air, but it's an irritable game. And you have to understand, you might go in the clubhouse after a loss. You might just walk in and you don't have to say anything. And you might take the brunt of somebody's frustration of a bad outing. Then you walk in the clubhouse the next day and they'll say, "Hi, John, how are you? Good to see you." It wears off quickly. But in the moment, right after a game where things didn't go so well, that red backside came out, and I think he was very irritated with the performance last night. So that's just the way it goes, and it is a game that you move on from, and I think Jack will move on from that. But I hope he's not hurt. I don't know. I can't get inside his head, Chris.
Oh, this is moving on from that topic, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
The NFL schedule.
Go ahead, Amy. What the heck?
I know. I'm sorry. The NFL schedule was just released, and we saw that the Chiefs are playing in Frankfurt. And of course, it reminded me, oh, yeah, the Cardinals, they're heading to London.
They're playing in Frankfurt?
Well,
no.
I wish they would, and then we could go.
Yeah. No, they're playing in London. We tried to go. So far, we haven't gotten tickets. I know in baseball terms, it's a long way away still, John, but is that something that you look forward to as a broadcaster, is heading over across the pond?
I will when it's time. Right now, I'm looking forward to this team keeping a winning streak together. And as I said, we take today in the here and now. Yes, it's going to be different. Jim Jackson's been doing a lot of preparations. We won't actually have a booth in the stadium. It will be a table set up, and there'll be some, dividers between the broadcasters. But we're the home team, so I guess we get the best setup for the radio broadcast, as the two games will be national games, Fox and ESPN. But yeah, I am looking forward to it, yes. But right now I'm looking forward to going to the north side today and having a Cardinal sweep. And having that opportunity, I think that's lifted a lot of spirits. But it's going to be interesting, and that's a long trip.
Mm-hmm.
As we start out in New York, we go to Washington, and then fly from Washington to London and have a day to get situated. Then they work out the following day on a Friday and play on Saturday and Sunday, then fly back home. And here's the interesting part. When we get back home, the Cardinals have to play the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees.
Wow.
So let's sharpen that game and get it ready before then, because that's going to be some stretch. But the whole schedule is interesting this year, and it's important all the way through because everybody plays everybody.
Well, John, we appreciate your time today, and we would also appreciate if you would you have some time now, if you'd start to get the work on getting Amy and me out to England for that series.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me just see if I can do this telepathically. Steve, send Amy and Chris to London.
We can carry
Send
your
Amy
bags.
and Chris to London.
Yeah.
And okay, I planted the seed. I don't know if it'll go anywhere, but
I felt it.
Man, I feel like you did nothing for us.
No,
just
I
now.
feel like he did something.
He
did that.
Steve didn't hear that.
No, it's
you guys agree on so many things.
John, I'll carry your bags and
but
everything.
Amy, but Amy, I'm going to agree with Chris. I did absolutely nothing for you. I just wasted about 25 more seconds. That's all I did. That's all that came out of this.
Well,
that's hurtful.
Great. Can't wait till next Wednesday, John.
I didn't. I always say something to hurt. Last I hurt your feelings when I said, "Do I have to come on next?" I was just joking. Joking, and I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, Amy.
She's very
really,
sensitive.
I didn't help you any at all. I'm going to be honest.
Thanks anyway, John.
John
I tried.
Rooney.
All you can do is try. Give it your best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
all right. Well, go
I look
call a
forward
winner
to these
tonight.
little chats we have every week.
I do until you hurt my feelings.
Yeah, you hurt her feelings.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Don't apologize to her. She's
Oh.
fine. Thanks, John.
All right.
Go get a winner.
I'll be visiting with you next Wednesday, knock on wood.
Yeah. Oh,
Perfect.
here we go. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, John.
John Rooney,
Bye now.
play-by-play voice of the Cardinals. Hear him tonight. The ball game is at 6:40 p.m. they will try to get a win. In fact, it'll be their 4th in a row if they do it tonight. And you can
Also-
hear it right here on KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
And if you're a travel agent and you want to send us to London, we would do it. We'll go.
Yeah, we'll totally go.
We'll go. I think it's a great
free
because we don't have any money.
We have money. It's just tied up in other things like parking in the building
Food.
and food.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to try to get to London. We're probably a little late working on that, but
All right. Whatever. Amy Marks, Corzine, Chris Ranji. There's another war is happening.
Oh.
We need to tell you about. And it's serious. We'll tell you about it next on KMOX.
Well, speaking of serious, STL FenceWorks is seriously committed to installing American-made aluminum and vinyl fence products, as well as American-made decking. Step 1, STL FenceWorks has teamed up with Jareth Manufacturing. Now, Jareth invented the aluminum fence industry over 50 years ago, and all of their product is wholly sourced and manufactured right here in the U.S. And by the way, STL FenceWorks is the 3rd largest Jareth customer in the world. Step 2, STL FenceWorks has also partnered with Wolf Cellular PVC Decking, and they are the #1 distributor of Wolf Cellular PVC Decking in the Midwest. And yep, that is proudly manufactured right here in the United States, and it was voted the #1 maintenance-free decking product in the country. STL FenceWorks really does make your backyard dreams become a reality. The weather is turning. This is barbecue season. This is party season, family reunions, graduations, weddings, you name it, on and on. You want to make your backyard space beautiful. That's where people gather. If you want to be the home in the neighborhood where people meet up and say, hey, let's have a barbecue. Let's have a beer. Let's listen to the Cardinals game. STL FenceWorks can make that dream come true. STLFenceWorks.com.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're here for all of life's wins. Like when you get a new car, or new boat, or new driver, or when your son moves out, but your mom moves in, or you find out you're expecting again, or when one rental property turns into 2, then 20, or you realize they're all in Tornado Alley. Life is full of life events, so call your Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance agent or visit mofbinsurance.com to find an agent near you, and we'll make sure you have the right coverage for each of life's wins.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri, in good times and in bad. We're from Missouri families and Missouri communities. We're for giving back to those communities and lifting people up. And when Missouri weather rips through our state, we're for helping put back the pieces. We're for brighter days and new tomorrows. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you live in Missouri, we're for you.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, I don't think there's an age that's too early, because really, if you take away the word therapy, what's happening is, hey, let's communicate with other people. Let's communicate what you're feeling. It's just communication skills. So it's like basically you're just saying, hey, there might be some conversation you can have with X person that's going to help you. And because it helps you to evolve as a human.
Explore more at imlistening.org.
Sponsored by Compass Health Network, now hiring.
Charlie Brennan sees clearly thanks to Dr. Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Over 30 years ago, it was that can-do spirit which helped the founder of Reinhold Flooring start the business, installing Reinhold quality carpet and beautiful flooring himself. Now, Reinhold Flooring is still family-owned and operated, and winning St. Louis Magazine's best flooring store 2 years in a row. With Reinhold Flooring, it's not about the sale, it's about the amazing floor to perfectly match your house and your life. Customer driven since day one. Visit ReinholdFlooring.com. With so many ideas you can do it with a can-do crew at Reinhold Flooring. ReinholdFlooring.com.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life. Over the past decade, Coalition Life has served thousands of women in crisis pregnancies, helping to save the lives of the children that they carry. Help us build a better community while also reducing or completely eliminating your Missouri taxes with a 70% tax credit. A $1,000 donation today to help these women could cost you as little as $141 out of pocket. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com. Thank you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
When children were being fatally injured by window blind cords, Honor Law took on the manufacturers to have dangerous cords banned.
Call Onder Law Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618 $9 million.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Hello Garage elevates your garage, adding additional entertainment space for graduation parties or other summer get-togethers you have planned. In as little as 48 hours, get organized and start planning that party. Visit them online at hellogarage.com.
Furnish hope right here in St. Louis. Donate your unneeded furniture and household goods to Home Sweet Home. Visit www.homesweethomestl.org to learn more.
This is the show. The show continues on KMOX.
Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. Amy, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Did you hear about the new war that's being waged?
Okay, I did. I don't like the language, but I think we might disagree on this.
This is a story from Fox Business.
Yeah.
And the headline is War on Appliances Continues as Biden administration releases new rules for dishwashers. So just like the war on Christmas, because you can't say Christmas anymore.
Yeah.
There's a war on appliances right now. And here's what's happening.
Yeah.
The proposal by the administration is dishwashers would be limited to 3.2 gallons of water per cycle, which is below the current limit of 5 gallons per cycle. And manufacturers would have to reduce their energy consumption by nearly 30%. This doesn't really seem like a war.
I know the word war is a little strong. I think you could say, oh, I disagree with that policy.
Why don't you disagree with a policy?
That might be what I would say.
I don't understand disagreeing with the policy.
Well, so for instance, this is why I don't like the term war, because when people get overly dramatic about things and use military language, when
they're trying to get a reaction,
they're trying to get a reaction, but also it discredits a real conversation. Because so Chuck Schumer said in February, nobody is taking away your gas stove. Shameless and desperate MAGA Republicans are showing us they will cook up any distraction to divert from real issues the American people want solved, like the debt ceiling. And a lot of conservatives, Republicans were mocked for saying there was a quote-unquote war on gas stoves. Would I have used a different word? Yes. But the thing is, at the same time, while Schumer was mocking Republicans just a few days ago, his home state of New York, right? They approved a $229 billion budget that prohibits gas hookups in new residential buildings, large and small. Small by 2026, large by 2029. So you can't put gas stoves in new residential buildings.
But you can have stoves?
You can have stoves, but gas stoves are a big deal. I actually picked my apartment partly on wanting gas stoves.
Oh, that's weird. Why?
If you cook, it's so much better. You can control the heat. I don't like electric stoves. It's not the end of the world, which is why I wouldn't use war. But Schumer shouldn't mock people for saying that, hey, they are coming after the gas stoves.
I think people are trying to make something out of nothing so that there could be some outrage.
I want my gas stove.
Oh, who gives a
I
crap?
won't use the word war.
My mom's got an electric stove. It works great. I like hers better than mine. I have
you
gas.
don't cook and you don't know anything.
I have gas. Oh,
I'm
get
fighting
serious.
for gas stoves, people. I
Great.
love gas stoves.
Die on that hill, Amy.
I will die on this gas stove.
You will die on the stupidest of hills. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. Neil Salsick is going to be in studio.
Heyo.
Coming up next on KMOX.
What's that sound?
The Biz Dash is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. Join us this spring at City Park, the home of St. Louis City SC. With food, music, drinks, and more, the Biz Dash is the ultimate office party. Thursday, May 25th at City Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com. That's stlbizdash.com.
Aspiring to be a doctor? Didn't score well on the MCAT? Gain all the confidence you need to succeed at Ponce Health Sciences University. PHSU west of City Park on the corner of Jefferson and Market prepares students for every aspect of a medical career. A Master of Sciences in Medical Science degree. An MSMS from Ponce prepares students for the coursework, the time commitment, and the rigor for a future in healthcare. Learn more at stlouis.psm.edu. That's stlouis.psm.edu.
Wake up, people. You're optimizing every waking hour of your life, from carpooling kids to work to friends and everything in between. You have to get sleep and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better, night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number. Save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you, with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Play ball!
Step up to the plate by donating your old car to Goodwill and get 4 box seats to a Cardinal game. Your car donation to Goodwill will help people right here in St. Louis. Donating is easy, towing is free, and you get a tax receipt. Plus, you'll get Cardinal tickets, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. Donate online at mersgoodwill.com. Must mention promo code Cardinals. Hurry while supplies last.
What are you getting your mom for Mother's Day? Maybe your local farm and home supply can help. Check out some of the great deals now through May 14th. Grab a 10-inch hanging basket for only $8.99. Help her decorate outside with 20% off all spring decor, stakes, and flags. If she loves watching birds, save 10% off all hummingbird feeders. Or pick from the colors of the rainbow with 33% off all Noble Outfitters tug-free V-neck t-shirts. Check out all the deals for Mother's Day sale on our View ads page at farmandhomesupply.com.
Awarded 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year by the Missouri Broadcasters Association, KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's a partly cloudy sky, 75 degrees downtown at the Arch. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour: transgender minors won't have access to puberty blockers, hormones, or surgery under legislation passed in the Missouri legislature today and sent to Governor Mike Parson's desk. The ban on gender-affirming health care exempts minors already receiving gender-affirming care, but it also affects some adults.
I think we need to get a overall assessment of what the needs are in the office.
St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones with Total Information AM talking about what she thinks needs to be done first in the Circuit Attorney's office.
Mayor Jones agrees with former Circuit Attorney Jennifer Joyce and believes whomever takes over the Circuit Attorney's office should not be the same person who runs in 2024.
How often is your phone dinging with people who say, it should be her, it should be him?
Oh, yeah, my phone's blowing up. And please don't sunshine my phone. But yeah, there are several. I've received several suggestions.
But Jones says her focus is on getting a comprehensive overview of what the Circuit Attorney's office needs now. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Bridgeton residents got an update from the EPA on the Westlake landfill radiation cleanup effort last night. The EPA's Tom Mailer gave the town hall crowd the bottom line after an extensive and technical explanation.
The risks remain the same today as what we estimated in 2018 when we issued the record of decision.
He says the remedy will remain the same: partial excavation, backfilling the dirt, and expanding the engineered cover over contaminated land. The KMOX business desk: if more companies like Emerson move themselves downtown, it would increase vibrancy, add retail and restaurant customers, and crowd out those with bad intentions, says KMOX innovation expert Travis Sheridan.
I mean, it would go a long way to like reinforce their civic commitment to the broader region and really belief in the city of St. Louis.
Sheridan says Emerson may have a lot of employees who live in the Clayton area, although if workers are scattered across the region, downtown is a convenient central gathering spot. The Dow from Stifel's down 206 points to 33,355. We've got a crash on 70 going west at 79. The right lane is closed. Also a one-vehicle crash on 70 west before West Florissant that they have just cleared.
82 degrees should do it for the high later on this afternoon. Partly to mostly sunny skies, a touch on the breezy side. Tonight, mostly cloudy. For evening plans, in the 70s, 58 for the low. Thursday, we start to get back into an unsettled weather pattern. Partly sunny skies, but there will be a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms around on Thursday. No all-day rain, and bring it up to about 85. Friday, periods of showers and thunderstorms anytime during the day on Friday, 85, and still unsettled with some scattered showers and thunderstorms around Saturday and again on Sunday with temperatures in the 80s. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Midwest Money. At Midwest Money, receive instant cash for your gold, silver, and platinum jewelry. Midwest Money pays top dollar for coins and currency. Call 481-0770 or go to MidwestMoneyCO.com, because isn't cash in the bank better than scrap in the drawer? Right now, some clouds, 76 in Florissant and St. Peter's, and 75 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info at Cardinals.com.
Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're doing all very well.
Thought it was Tuesday.
Hey, by the way, before we get to our guest, we had a Karen call in.
Oh.
But it's actually a good Karen.
Oh.
Karen is called in to let us know that she's listening on the Odyssey app from Denver. She's
Oh.
visiting her sister, Gretchen.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, hey, Karen and Gretchen.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening. She said she finally took our advice and downloaded the free Odyssey
Well,
app.
because
it ain't that hard.
That's smart, Karen, because do you know what we're going to do? We
What?
said this yesterday. For people who don't get the Odyssey app and listen
Oh.
to us during the workday.
That's right.
There's no excuse. So if you can't listen to us, we are going to
Come
go
to your
you.
office.
We have Neil Salsic in the studio.
He's got the Odyssey app.
He's got the Odyssey app.
Neil Salsic, he is with the band The Mighty Pines. He's
Mhm.
awesome. The band is great. And Neil just finished his run on The Voice. Well,
Yes.
we're glad to have you in studio and glad you could talk about it. We wish you would have gone a little bit further, and I know you feel the same way.
Yes.
Congratulations on the run.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yes.
both. And thanks to everyone listening out there in St. Louis and beyond who, watched it. Really, I felt so much support and so much love. So, and, once that final taping was over, I came straight here to KMOX to talk about it.
I know.
That's right.
Well, and actually, I want to talk more about the Odyssey app. No, just kidding.
Actually, I'm happy to talk
Yeah,
about that. I'm
We're so
quite
glad.
the nerd.
The whole time he was out filming The Voice, he
Yeah.
was listening on the Odyssey app.
Actually, there were, trust me, a few days. I was out there for a total of 10 weeks or something like
Oh,
that.
wow.
And after a while, I started to, I couldn't believe it, but I was craving hearing a little KMOX.
Yes.
So it took probably like 6 or 7 weeks, but at the end there, I'm home. I was homesick and I started tuning in.
All right.
I stopped listening, and it took about
For a month and a half.
8 weeks.
I was in California, man,
You're supposed to hike up by the Hollywood sign and listen to the Odyssey
You
app.
missed us after 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I listen almost every day when I'm in St. Louis, so it was a healthy break, actually.
We love it. That's so
Well,
great.
Anyway, Neil, we want to talk about that was amazing. I really started missing you guys after like a year and
It
a
was like
half.
2 months. Yeah.
The Voice, the whole experience. You very rarely get to talk to someone who was on it, who went through the entire process of the judging, the rehearsing, picking your team, picking your coaches. Were you surprised by the actual process of it versus what you thought it might be before you went?
Yes, I definitely was. That's a great question because this season was actually very different than other seasons. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I do know that it was a shortened season
Oh.
due to who knows how corporate TV works or whatever.
Yeah.
But after we had already been out there and involved, like this was after the blind auditions, we kind of find out that the setup was a little different, and that's why on Monday night it went from 20 finalists to 8, like that. That it almost never happens. It's usually something like 20 to 16. So that was something that was surprising. And yeah, there's they kind of keep you in the dark about a lot of stuff. I understand that. It's there's a lot of element of surprise that's important for those contestants, I think.
When you were practicing for your most recent song and Kelly Clarkson was coaching you, we're watching that portion of the show on The Voice. It's several minutes. How long was she actually coaching you in that moment?
Not very long, to be honest. So much of the show, you do see a few minutes, and it might actually represent something that was like an hour long or something. But in this case, that was very quick. You're just kind of in this warehouse, and you're waiting around, and then they threw these in-ear monitors on me when I'd never used them before, and they just kind of like shove you in the room, and there's cameras, and Kelly's there, and it's over in the blink of an eye. I sang my song twice, I think, but I was pretty prepared. So I think she was just like, great, man, sound great.
You don't use the in-ears while you're performing on stage?
You know what? I haven't really used them that much yet.
Interesting.
Like they're still a fairly new technology. I mean, they're new in the scheme of things. And when you're a upstart musician like I am, they just for the first however many years, you're just kind of using old school monitors,
Yeah.
So, but those in-ears were amazing, and now I'm totally hooked.
All right, good.
Yeah.
You talk about being an upstart musician. You were also in California 8, 9, 10 weeks. I don't think I've asked you this. Are you a full-time musician, or do you have another gig that you also do?
No, I am a full-time musician. Very proud to be doing that, and based here in St. Louis, and I've been doing that for about 10 years now.
Wow. And that allowed you the flexibility to go out. Because I would imagine too. Now I know some of these people are very young. I know one of the kids that moved on is 15 years old, which is crazy. But that has to be something that you look at when you sign on to The Voice. It could be a huge portion of your life.
Oh yeah, there was other contestants who were juggling working remotely while doing this whole thing. Wow. I was just like, oh my God, I don't want that. So that's why I had plenty of time to sit in my hotel room and listen to the Odyssey app while I was out there. Thankfully, I had no work commitments.
Hire this guy.
Neil Salsic, who had a great run on The Voice with the band The Mighty Pines, is with us in studio. Before we'll ask you about the band. I know you play next week, right? Or about a week and a half from now?
Yeah.
You're playing in town. Before we get to that, when you filmed all of this, it's been a while. How difficult was it to sit on all of the, like you kind of know what's happening and you're not supposed to say anything. I talked to you about this. I have a friend who was on The Bachelorette, and same thing. He ended up getting engaged, but he couldn't talk about it for months.
Okay, well, that was a little bit more extreme than what I went through, probably, and what I wasn't able to talk about. But yes, that was probably the most challenging part. It was just an interesting kind of challenge, like just to kind of, because man, thankfully, and this shows the support I have, but almost everyone that I would talk to would look me right in the eye and be like, so when are you going back for the lives? You know, and I just to kind of like fake that and smile. I'm so glad that part of it is over, because it was such a great experience and something that I was so eager to share with people. But I couldn't really say too much about it.
What about, you always hear, and this was like American Idol, so a different show, and I'm sure every show is slightly different, but you have to sign your life away. Basically, if you get famous at all because of us, you owe us this percentage. And I imagine that percentage is smaller depending on how far down or how early you exit the show. Did you get to the point where you were signing your life away or not quite?
Yeah, I think that technically I have signed my life away.
Yeah.
But nothing bad has happened so far, and I don't think any of those contracts will all expire soon. I think when the show's over, I have a great lawyer in the family.
Yeah.
Shout out to my cousin Pete Salsick. And he definitely got his eyes on that. And
Well, yeah, because the Mighty Pines existed. I guess that would be my question: is the Mighty Pines existed? You had a following, you have a following, but then you go on the show. If you get more popular at all, does the show try to legally claim credit for that and take money from you guys?
oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
Although there was 57 pages of very fine print, so hopefully that is not somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I can't really answer those questions.
That's what your cousin.
I kind of zoned out with
Oh,
the
yeah.
when the contract came my way, and I called my cousin.
So what is up next for the Pines? I know they play Benton Park coming up on the 21st.
Yes, that's right. That is the first show of a great summer and fall of St. Louis shows for the Mighty Pines. But Sunday, May 21st, that's next weekend, we will be kicking off the Benton Park Summer Concert Series.
Oh, nice.
That's something we do every year. 3 of the band members used to live, including myself, used to live in Benton Park. So it was just, and when the band was starting, we were always rehearsing there and hanging out. So it's a very, very special place to us. And so is the park. And we are just excited for the show. It's really unique because it's a Sunday show. It's in the afternoon for all of our fans who just can't fathom coming out, at 9:00 at night, which there are many of them. So yeah, it's just beautiful. It's free. That's something really special. It's in a park. You can bring your dogs. You can bring your kids. It's family friendly. You can bring your own beverages.
BYOB,
Yeah,
we call
it's
it.
just like, it's amazing. So you gotta come and experience it. There were 1,000 people there last year, and I want to smash that attendance record this year.
Awesome. Okay. Last night, I was hanging out with friends, Megan, and Jess, and here's what they said. Oh my gosh, are you guys coming to the Whitaker Music Festival? It's at the Botanical Gardens. It's been going on for years. It's hugely popular. And they were all excited because they're going June 21st because one of their favorite bands is playing. And I said, oh, really? Who's that? And they said,
The Mighty Pines.
That's exactly
ding, ding,
right.
ding. Yes, that's our next, one of our next really cool shows. About a month after the Benton Park will be another free outdoor show, but very special to be at the Missouri Botanical Gardens in that amazing sort of little natural amphitheater. We did this show back in 2017. But we were kind of, young and dumb back then. It was a great show, actually, honestly, to our credit. But man, we're so excited to return as the bigger and better Mighty Pines.
What is the goal for the band? You just want to book as many shows as possible at this point? Or are you trying to keep it lighter? What do you want to do?
Definitely not book as many shows as possible. With that said, we're really going for quality over quantity because we kind of not that we don't want to play shows, but yeah, we're just really interested in high quality shows. We've sort of been there, done that with like playing any show we can get. And that's what you have to do when you're a startup band or just anyone getting started in your industry. You just got to like take it all in and do whatever opportunity you can. But I'd say we just want to play really, really great shows. Honestly, not just in St. Louis, but that's where our opportunities are, So we are going to go down to Carbondale this summer. There's a great concert series happening there. We definitely do regional stuff, when great opportunities come knocking, we will gas up the van and we'll be there.
Awesome. You have a lot of guys in that band.
Yes, it's a 4-piece, although
I thought there were more when I saw you.
There's more. Yeah, we're kind of expanding the lineup, and that's another answer to what's next for the Mighty Pines. It's been organic and it's been really special, and we the honorary 5th Pine is Dave Grelly. He's listening right now, and he told me to tell you hello, Amy.
Hey, Dave. Actually, anyway, never mind. I was going to say something.
This isn't about you, Amy.
I was going to say something. I was like, I think that would like dox him or something.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Hey, Dave.
Yeah, so Dave plays with us. He's outstanding. We are so lucky to have him, and he's just also a good hang. He's kind of become one of us, really. And we also play with Allie Crawl. She's an amazing, amazing nationally known fiddle player who toured with Yonder Mountain String Band for a long
wow.
time. She lives in Webster Groves, believe it or not, which is so funny. There's all sorts of pretty successful national or international musicians that are just based here and they just live here. And like, I'll still find out about people like living in St. Louis, but they don't really play as much around here, but they have huge followings. They'll be playing at Red Rocks or wherever, but they live in Webster. So it's pretty cool.
Before we let you go, I love how you were talking about like the fifth pine, Dave Barely, the fifth pine. How did you come up with the name the Mighty Pines?
The world will never really know. I think we kind of forgot. I'll tell you what it was. I don't know how you guys came up with the name for this show, but I'm sure.
It's the worst.
No, I'm sure it involved just like a list of so many names, and maybe Amy had a name that she loved, and Chris was just like, no, I can't stand that. So there was, or the other way around.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we had so many. We spent months trying to figure out a name, and it just. I don't know how. Somehow the Mighty Pines came out of one of our mouths. I don't really remember. It's like folklore at this point.
I love it. It's such a great name. It's a very cool name.
Wow.
It's a great name. The Mighty Pines. I was just thinking like all the merch. It's all sharp because it's the Mighty Pines.
Weren't we going to name this show the Mighty Pines? And then someone's like, no, you can't. There's a band.
Yeah.
I would have given that name to you. That's how much I love this show. Okay.
Actually, I think it was going to be like the Mighty Fighty Pines, but then they're like that's too close.
And
it's confusing.
stupid.
Yeah.
Mighty Fighty Pines. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Amy's ideas were all bad. Mine were great. And we settled on the show because we couldn't come to a consensus.
Now it's Chris and Amy.
It's Chris and Amy now.
What about
We're changing
this
the
name?
name.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because we dumped the dead weight in Kevin. So
Kevin Wheeler was dead weight, and he's the
Dead
only
weight,
reason
he's
we didn't
out.
call it Chris and Amy, because it was gonna be Chris and Amy and also Kevin.
Right.
But our boss was like, "That's too long."
rude.
Yeah. So then we got rid of Kevin,
Yeah.
and now we can go back to Chris and Amy.
Yeah.
What do you think about this name, Range Against the Machine?
You know what? I was prepared to make that joke already.
Were you really?
Yeah, because maybe I've heard you say that before, or
that's
you've
what
mentioned
happened.
it. But it's like I've listened to so much of this show that I can't even tell what ideas are my own and what ideas came from you guys. But you should.
You're
be
like
playing
the third Mighty Fighty Pine.
Yeah, that's right. You can be.
Hey, trust me, I'm like living my best life here behind this mic right now. Okay, I dream about this, and I totally love being here.
Yeah. Neil, we love having you in, man. We wish the run would have been longer than this,
Me
but
too.
you were awesome on it, and looking forward to seeing the Pines in a week and a half. Next
Awesome.
weekend, Benton Park.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
That is Neil Salsick from The Voice, and more importantly, from the band The Mighty Pines, that you can catch in the St. Louis area. Just go to their website, themightypines.com. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji with you on KMOX.
2 ways to listen to KMOX in your car. 98.7 in the city, 1120 a.m. further out. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Diamonds Direct invites you to join us as we celebrate all the moms in our lives. This Mother's Day, we're giving Mom more to say thank you for all she does. With every fashion jewelry purchase of $2,500 or more, we'll give Mom a free customizable diamond initial pendant valued at nearly $800. We've put together an exceptional collection of meaningful gifts for any budget. The perfect heirloom pieces to pass down to the next generation of moms. Birthstone rings, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. This year, she deserves a gift that keeps giving, and at Diamonds Direct, that's our specialty. Timeless gifts of jewelry she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come. Now's a great time to upgrade her diamond studs or pendant with Diamonds Direct's unmatched 110% upgrade. Come let the experts at Diamonds Direct help you find that remarkable gift that says, "Cheers, Mom, for all you do and for who you are." Diamonds Direct. Get locations and store hours at diamondsdirect.com.
Carol Daniel for Ophthalmology Associates. For the best eye doctors, you need to see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Online at yourEyeDoc.com or 314-966-5000.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, To eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-924-7415. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.com. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
RENNER, forward and back. Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. Excited to share with you about Renner Garage Door. Spells the same thing, forward and backward. RENNER. Formerly the St. Louis Door Company, Renner's been selling, servicing, and installing garage doors in St. Louis since 1966. So if you need to repair or replace your garage door or opener, Renner does that. So call Renner or check out their special deals at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, the garage door company that does. Giddy up!
Work or play, KMOX is right there with you. We go where you go.
Time to rewind the show. This is the show recap.
Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX. We started the show by talking about the bills that will or will not pass the Missouri legislature because the session is coming to an end Friday.
6 p.m.
So if anything's going to get done, it has about 2 days to get done here. And one of those things that I'm really high on is the sports betting measure. I would like to see it get through. I'm not so sure it's going to happen.
No, I feel like a lot of the big items, such as the state takeover of the St. Louis City Police, it's not going to move forward.
Right. There is an effort, and I mentioned the sports betting bill. There is a bill, SB 92, which was introduced by Denny Hoskins, and there's an effort from other senators to attach sports betting to it, much like he tried to attach the video terminal stuff to the sports betting bill. They've done the same thing to him. So we'll see if that goes through. My guess is it will not, but we'll find out. We also spoke about Title 42 expiring tomorrow and what happens. Immigration attorney Kate Lincoln Goldfinch out of Texas visited with us today about that.
This is a natural consequence of what we've had over the last 3 years, which is a closure of the border to asylum seekers because of Title 42 under the public health emergency of COVID that is lifting tomorrow. So the impact of that is that for 3 years, people who normally would have been able to come to the border and be screened for asylum, like people from Venezuela or Cuba or Honduras who are fleeing, violence in their countries, have been, many of them just stuck in Mexico. Some of them living in, makeshift refugee camps, just waiting for the opportunity to be able to apply for asylum. So the reality on the ground is that we have a backlog of asylum seekers that now our country will need to deal with.
Yeah. And, you look at the numbers of migrants coming to the border, and I feel upset, not in the way like, oh my gosh, there's so many people. What are we going to do? We need immigrants. I want immigrants coming to this country. Where I feel upset is the conditions are bad. It's a humanitarian crisis. There are all these people with their families, and there's no recourse for them. It's out of control, and there's a lack of a policy. Here's what I'll say. We need a policy that balances compassion
Yes.
and law and order. And what we have now is neither compassionate nor orderly.
If you don't have any real avenue for people to get in and it's chaotic, they're going to find other ways to get in if they're desperate.
They're trying to run for their lives, save their kids. What would you do to save your kids?
Dennis Hancock is a county councilman. Got some issues to talk about with him out of District 3. Dennis will join us next. Chris and Amy here on KMOX.
Following the Dave Glover Show at 5 o'clock, it's Total Information PM. Hey, I'm Michael Calhoun. Check in with Kevin Wheeler and me for the latest news and information. Roger covers your commute. Dave Murray's got the forecast. Matt Pauley has sports. We'll take deep dives on local issues and help you be a smarter consumer. At 5:30, the CBS Evening News helps you understand what's happening around the country and the world. Total Information PM at 5 o'clock, right after Dave Glover on the trusted voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We all know how important nutrition is to our health, so why don't we do something about it? With Neovitin Men's 50 Plus, you can give your body sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your daily health. Formulated for men over 50, Neovitin Men's 50 Plus gives you B vitamins to support energy and our proprietary physician-formulated blend for daily support you won't find anywhere else. Do something about your health today with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus. Available at your local Schnucks and Deerbergs.
If you've fallen out of love with your home, maybe you just need a refresh. Contact CertaPro Painters and we'll put the power of pro to work for you. That's CertaPro's power to transform living rooms and rejuvenate kitchens. The power to get the job done right, on time, and within your budget. Get that lovin' feeling back with the help of CertaPro Painters. Start your project at CertaPro.com. The power of pro. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey. Have you noticed that for sale signs in your neighborhood have been up for longer than normal? Why? Well, they probably don't have my friend and trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty's name on them because agent selection matters. And that's why I recommend you call Gloria Liu. I've been telling you about Gloria for years now, and you should call Gloria before you list your home. Gloria has the buyers. More than 2,400 exclusive buyers in her database looking for a home in your neighborhood. Gloria sells twice as fast and for 5% more money on average when compared to other agents. With Gloria, you sell faster and for more money. And Gloria will guarantee upfront in writing that she'll sell your home at your price and your time frame, or she will buy your home herself. Call Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888 or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
At 12:30, we've got some clouds, some sun, 76 degrees downtown at the Arch. Congressman George Santos has been arrested on federal charges alleging he embezzled money from his campaign, lied to Congress about his income, and cheated his way into undeserved unemployment benefits. The indictment says the New York Republican induced supporters to donate to a Florida company under the false pretense the money would be used for his campaign. The St. Louis County Council backed off final passage of a bill outlawing walking in the street last night. Councilman Ernie Tracus says he introduced the legislation in the interest of public safety, but admits there was a lot of pushback.
I'm working with the county councilor's office to address most, if not all of those concerns, and we'll have a sub-bill next week that will address each and every one of them for the most part.
The bill is written specifically bars standing in medians, leading to accusations it's intended to stop panhandling. Mayor Tashara Jones has released a statement after the Missouri legislature passed a bill restricting gender-affirming care for minors. Quote, transgender Missourians deserve to live their authentic lives. The anti-trans bills passed by the Missouri legislature are ugly, hateful attacks on our youth that will drive them and their families out of our state in search of a more welcoming place to live. The bill allows patients already receiving care to continue once Governor Parsons signs it into law. On the roads right now, a stalled vehicle 270 north at 44. The right lane is closed, and a one vehicle crash 70 west at 79. The right lane is closed. And the forecast is sponsored by the Flat Roof Company. Quality workmanship at a competitive price. High today about 82 degrees. Low tonight 58. Tomorrow a few showers and storms around with a high of 85. The Flat Roof Company. If you have leaks in your commercial or industrial flat roof, there is only one company to call, the Flat Roof Company, because they have a great reputation and provide excellent service at great prices. Call the Flat Roof Company at 314-995-2700. Flat roofs are all they do. Right now, 76 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life. Over the past decade, Coalition Life has served thousands of women in crisis pregnancies, helping to save the lives of the children they carry. Help us build a better community while also reducing or completely eliminating your Missouri taxes with a 70% tax credit. A $1,000 donation today to help these women could cost you as little as $141 out of pocket. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com. Thank you.
Listen now to PNC C-Speak, the language of executives. William Caniano, NGA West executive of the $2 billion headquarters expansion, takes us inside the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. He says there is a naturally collaborative nature in St. Louis, and that has led to the project's success. C-Speak shares the stories and innovative approaches of successful business leaders to spark ideas and growth in your business. Listen today at KMOX.com/PNC C-Speak. PNC C-Speak, the language of executives.
Spark St. Louis is the newest collaborative co-working office space located in the PwC Pennant Building at Ballpark Village. Spark supports local entrepreneurs and corporate professionals and features over 80 private offices, day pass options, monthly networking events, conference room, and special event amenities, while offering an innovative approach to city life where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within the neighborhood at Ballpark Village. Schedule your tour today by visiting Spark St. Louis online at spark-stl.com.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sunday mornings at 10:15 on Sports on a Sunday morning, and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show on Cardinals Radio, KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. Good afternoon to all of you. It is 12:34. 1, 2, 3, 4. How about that? Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji. We go back to the guest line today. St. Louis County Councilman from District 3, Dennis Hancock, is with us because there's a lot of conversation about, with marijuana, recreational weed being legal in the area, whether or not there should be public spaces for people to consume it. And Dennis Hancock, a county councilman, joins us now on KMOX. Good afternoon, Dennis. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me this afternoon.
Okay, so what is your position on what is being called pot lounges?
Well, I think that it's an interesting concept. I think that my understanding of the constitutional amendment that legalized cannabis allows for those types of establishments, but it also then falls upon us to come up with regulations for those. And so I think we have to take a long, hard look at where should they be, what hours of operation should they have, how close in proximity should people be able to consume cannabis within, close to the front door. Are these smoking areas? Should they be, or do they fall under the county's indoor air quality statute? And so there's a lot of unanswered questions, and it's going to take us, I think, some time to come up with what we think is the right answers.
So right now, smoking pot lounges are not allowed under county ordinances, but potentially non-smoking pot lounges could be legal right now because that has nothing to do with the clean air zoning rules?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
When you look at these potential pot lounges, obviously people there, let's say it does pass and they're smoking, you would look at how close these pot lounges are to schools, to churches, but also is there concern about the condition of people leaving the lounges? Would that create more dangerous driving conditions, kind of the unintended consequences of having them?
Yeah, and I think that's probably my primary concern is do we really want more impaired drivers on our streets, and who's going to be checking these folks to make sure that they should be driving. If I go into a bar and the bartender determines that I've had too much to drink, they can refuse to serve me. I'm not sure how you tell that if somebody's been consuming cannabis for a few hours. The other thing that falls into that as well is, if I'm a server at a bar or restaurant, I don't necessarily have to imbibe in alcohol to do my job. If I'm in a cannabis smoking lounge, I'm probably inhaling cannabis all evening. So how impaired am I going to be by the end of my shift?
Yeah,
I think those are all things we have to consider.
yeah. You mentioned the servers. I didn't even think of the server at first. I was thinking of with a designated driver. It's easy to have a designated driver and not drink. It's not so easy not to breathe in the smoke around you if you're in a smoke-filled room.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
So your position is you're not necessarily opposed to the idea of a pot lounge, but you would like there to be some considerable regulation on them.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment of my position. I think that we have to, we've been given the responsibility for coming up with the regulations for these facilities, and I think it's we need to step up and do our jobs.
Visiting with County Councilman Dennis Hancock here on KMOX. We know that there are a lot of issues, and this is one of them that this did pass by votes. The public voted on the recreational marijuana. Your constituents, the people that you hear from in regard to this issue, where do they stand on the legalization of it, first of all? And secondly, whether or not they want a pot lounge, a dispensary where they live, because we know there is some pushback in some areas about having even dispensaries in their neighborhoods.
I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I have not heard from a single constituent about this issue. I don't think it's on the front of most people's minds. I don't think that most people are consumers. I know that they are out there and they exist, but I don't know that most of them, are thinking along the lines of someplace socially to go and consume. I think the ones that do consume are much more concerned about doing it in their own homes.
That dovetails into my next question, which is what brought this issue of pot lounges before the county council? Was there a business that applied for a permit to open up a pot lounge in St. Louis County?
No, I think it actually came from the health department staff, who, after reading the constitutional amendment, determined that if we're going to allow these facilities in St. Louis County, do they fall under the clean indoor air statutes, or do they fall somewhere else? And I think that's what's really started the conversation.
Dennis Hancock is the county councilman for District 3, visiting with us here on KMOX. You haven't been in office for all that long, taking over for Tim Fitch in this particular position that you are in. What would you say for you and your constituents who you do hear from? You said you don't really hear from many people as it pertains to weed, but what about other issues? What are your constituents telling you are important to them?
Well, one thing that we're talking about now is the restrictions that we're talking about in terms of where people can stand and walk. Can they do it on the streets? Do they have to be on sidewalks? We're hearing from several people about that, and I think I think Councilman Tracus, who introduced the bill last week, I think he's doing the right thing by pulling it back, addressing those concerns, and introducing a substitute bill, which probably will happen next week. But that's become a hot issue for a lot of folks, especially those that ride bicycles or run in the streets and those types of activities. So but we're trying to head off a situation where somebody could very easily get seriously hurt or killed if they're standing in the street or in the right of way, or walking in and amongst cars that are at a stoplight. And I think we all see that all over the county. Of especially now, we're seeing people, adults with small children, standing on street corners and clearly not going anywhere, at least not with a destination in mind. So we're working our way through that issue. But otherwise, it's just the standard, zoning issues, zoning changes, things like that. One thing we tried to do as well was to rescind a COVID era regulation that enabled the county counselor's office to contract with outside counsel without bringing the contracts to the county council. It passed by a 5-3 margin. Unfortunately, we weren't able to override the county executive's veto on that.
County Councilman Dennis Hancock, we appreciate your time today on KMOX. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you.
All right. That's Dennis Hancock with us here on the show. I think most people probably just want to, as he said, smoke your weed with your friends at home.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
instead of being out, but
I can see my first reaction was, is there a demand for this? Is this what a lot of partakers want? And my first thought was no. And then I don't know, maybe they do. Maybe there's a social aspect to it. You're trying to find other weed smokers, that community. There's a community of everything, community of drinkers, community of cigar smokers. If there are cigar lounges, why would there not be a pot lounge? I mean, the desire for one.
Right. And, my experience, my personal experience with it is I don't really get into weed.
Yeah.
My friends do, and they'll just be out drinking and say, yeah, I'm going to go over here for a second. I'll be right back. That's kind of what they do.
Yeah. Do most of your friends smoke, or do they do gummies?
It's a mixture. I would say mostly now it's gummies.
That's what I feel.
Yeah. It's
with
easier.
The people that I know.
But there is, for some people, just the act of smoking. They enjoy that. They like it.
Well, I said this, like in New York, it is an overwhelming smell of pot. There always was some, but now it's more. And it was young people too. We had this discussion with our boss. Is it old people smoke, young people do gummies? I don't know, because in New York it was all ages. I guess it just depends on the ritual.
I know you hate the smell.
My thing is, I wish they could at least come up with odorless smell. I mean, I don't partake at all. Shocking to people, I know. Not my thing. But I also really, really hate the smell.
I hate the smell of cigarette smoke. I think I hate that more than I hate marijuana smoke.
I hate both.
Quite frankly.
Why does cigar smoke smell different? That doesn't stink to me.
Because that is heavy. That's really heavy. And, the ingredients, the leaves smell better when they burn. Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji. We have a conversation Tom Ackerman had with Ali Marmol that you are going to hear when we come back on KMOX.
Remember your childhood piggy bank and the satisfaction you felt finally reaping the rewards of your diligent savings? With TrueHold, you can access your biggest piggy bank, your home's equity, and start enjoying the retirement you plan for right now without having to move. Here's how. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value while home values are high. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. Plus, TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance too. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Start enjoying your home's equity while values are high. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
I'm listening daily. Here's Demi Lovato on how she stays positive.
The forms of self-care that I'm engaging in during this painful but necessary moment in history, I'm meditating a lot, whether it's like in between breaks on set or it's starting my day. Meditation has become key to me. Also just taking care of myself in other ways, making sure I get rest, things like that.
For more details, go to imlistening.org.
Sponsored by Compass Health Network. We're here for you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Underlaw, we're looking for brave clients who have been injured and are ready to stand beside us in our fight to improve the safety of our community.
Call Underlaw Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618 $9
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
McKelvey Homes was founded in 1898. This year, we are celebrating our 125th anniversary by giving $12,500 of free options on all homes sold through the end of June. And we will also make a donation of $1,898 to the Independence Center for every home sold. Visit McKelveyHomes.com for our current locations and to learn more information about McKelvey Homes. That's McKelveyHomes.com.
Backed by popular demand, don't miss the Yachty Tumbler giveaway on Friday, May 19th when the Cards host the Dodgers. That night, 25,000 fans aged 16 and older will take home their own stainless steel tumbler featuring Yachty Air Molina, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. This 30-ounce Yachty tumbler comes in 2 styles, and you'll not know which one you get until you enter the gates at Busch Stadium on Friday, May the 19th.
This is Ollie Marmol. Get your tickets now at Cardinals.com.
Swing and a miss, struck him out, and your Cardinals are National League champions for 2013.
Relive the excitement of the 2013 National League Championship on Saturday, May 20th, when the Cardinals host the Dodgers. That day, 25,000 fans ages 21 and older will receive a beer stein courtesy of Budweiser that highlights the Cardinals' 2013 National League Championship win over the Dodgers. For tickets and information, visit Cardinals.com.
This is Adam Wainwright. Don't miss a legendary moment at Busch Stadium.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Hi, it's Kent Newbold for Newbold Toyota. Your car is worth more than ever before, so why trust the Damages for your servicing? Come see the factory-trained experts at Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Prepare an emergency kit, sign up for local alerts, and make a family communications plan. Get started today at ready.gov/plan. A public service message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You know that new sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this.
The show on KMOX.
Anything you missed on Chris and Amy, it's on the Odyssey app, which is free. Download it like Karen in Denver did, visiting her sister. Karen and Gretchen. Karen is subjecting Gretchen to her favorite show in St. Louis. Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji. Get the Odyssey app also on KMOX.com. Before we say goodbye, let's send it to our good buddy, Mr. TV guy, Tom Ackerman.
All right, guys, thank you very much. I have Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol with us from Chicago as the Cardinals later tonight will take on the Cubs, and they will go for a sweep. Ollie, great to talk to you.
Absolutely. How we doing?
Doing well. First series win since Colorado last month, 3-game win streak. Things feeling pretty good overall, I would imagine, in that clubhouse after that one.
Yes, guys are playing good baseball, and all the pieces are starting to come together. We've seen a lot of offense does their job, the pitching kind of falters, the starter does the job, the bullpen, but it's all starting to come together at the same time, and we're seeing some pretty good ball games.
Gio closing that out because he had some rough spots. I mean, there's no doubt, but you continue to show the confidence in all of your relievers in those situations.
We're going to have to, and that's the thing. This game, sometimes it punches you in the face, and sometimes you dominated, and we're going to have to continue to show confidence in all these guys because we're really going to need Gio in big spots and high leverage situations to be able to do what he did last night.
And you were able to put a couple of runs on the board, starting with Paul DeJong. He hits a home run. Gosh, that had to feel good for him. He's had some big moments at Wrigley Field, but we all know his situation. I mean, he's had some struggles to get himself back, and he has looked really good since you brought him up.
He has looked really good. This is a guy that took the offseason, worked extremely hard to fix a couple things, and was making some measurable gains. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see it in spring training because he got hurt, but he's come back with a quiet confidence. He knows what he's trying to do. And it's played out really well to this point.
Now, the Cardinals pick up a win 6-4. Never easy, no doubt about it, at Wrigley Field. They were able to climb back into it with a home run off Andre Palante, but he held his own. And Chris Stratton, I mean, he's one of your most durable relievers. What a performance by him as well, holding things down after Jack Flaherty.
That was huge by Stratton. He's been used a lot of different ways. He's given us length. He's been able to come in and pitch in some more high leverage situations as of late, and he's been steady. But what he did last night was pretty impressive.
And Flaherty, he goes 5, he walks 5, he gives up 7 hits, but he also wriggled out of trouble with a double play ball. I mean, he still, when things aren't going all his way, is a work in progress. How would you describe Jack Flaherty and what you've seen?
No, I thought you said it well. I mean, there was a lot of traffic last night, but he was able to make a big pitch in every big moment to get out of it. Used 5 walks, I believe a hit batter, but at the end of the day, the fastball command was there compared to his previous start. I thought he commanded that a lot better, but got the ground ball double play, got a couple double plays, and was able to pitch out some trouble in order to give us a chance.
You had Andrew Kisner behind the plate again. You continue to play him at catcher. The Wilson Contreras story, as you well know, became a national topic as the Cardinals are a very popular team. Everyone likes to talk about them. Tell us, I mean, really, though, in the walls of the clubhouse, how is that being handled with your players, with your staff, and with Wilson himself?
Man, you can't script it better, to be honest, if you're in our clubhouse. This is a really positive thing for a lot of reasons, and it's headed in a really good direction. Wilson will be behind the plate for the Cardinals in the future, but the work that's taking place behind closed doors right now on a lot of different fronts, it's going really well.
Is he hanging out in the dugout primarily while starters are out there, just to kind of get an understanding of pitch calling sequence and tossing ideas back and forth?
Yeah, and that's just a small part of it, to be honest with you. But yes, that is part of what he's doing, and he's doing a really nice job with that. So yes.
Nolan Arenado did have a hit in the ball game. He's hitting 232. He's not going to hit 232 at the end of this season. But you've got to have your stars performing at a high level. Arenado hit one that Big Mac Land, quite frankly, stopped on Saturday. That ball was crushed. What signs are you seeing of progress from him?
More aggressive swings, less chase out of the zone. And those are 2 really good signs, because when he starts to kind of hone it in and tighten up the strike zone and only swings at pitches where he can do damage, we're in a good spot. His swings are looking better. And just to your point, he can easily snap out of this tonight and go on a run. That's a lot of fun to watch, and that's what we're hoping.
Jordan Montgomery has had some hard luck, but he's been one of your best pitchers. I mean, overall, Absolutely. Starter or reliever.
No doubt about it. He's been extremely consistent. He knows what makes him good, and he's been leaning on it a ton. He's pitched with confidence, and we're looking forward to seeing that again tonight.
Throwing the first pitch tonight as we wrap up with Ollie Marmol, covering a lot of ground here in our 5 minutes or so, but you'll have Justin Steele. Steele's been great. I mean, there's no question. He's 5-0. Just how do you approach the lefty tonight from the Cubs?
Yeah, he's done a really nice job, and there's a couple things that give him success. We feel good about our lineup. Turner and that group is prepped for it, and we're looking forward to tonight. This is a kid that's done a really nice job and it's pitching extremely well. We're hoping to stop that.
Cardinals and Cubs tonight at 6:40 right here on KMOX with the 5:45 pregame, and Ollie Marmol kind enough to join us, and we appreciate it very much. Have a great day.
I appreciate it, Tom. Thank you.
We'll send things back to the show.
All right, Tom Ackerman. The Cardinals again do play tonight. You can listen to it on the Odyssey app if you're here in town. Enjoy the ball game. Hopefully the Cards will get their 4th win in a row. Oh my God, it's a winning streak and it's happening right now. Anything you missed otherwise, it is on the Odyssey app and KMOX.com. Chris and Amy with you now. The Dave Glover Show is next. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 10 a.m. on KMOX.
Over 30 years ago, it was that can-do spirit which helped the founder of Reinhold Flooring start the business.